Welcome back to your hosts, Brother William, a.k.a. Luwub, and Brother Xander, a.k.a. Big Z Trip 8, here to review and discuss another great movie with you, 2019's Joker.
The Joker?
Not The Joker, just Joker. That's all I've ever seen it as.
And we gotta let the cat out of the bag that we were gonna do a bit where like the first 10 movies all had the in them, and I fucked up because I thought it was The Joker, and we were never gonna talk about this, by the way. It was just gonna be The Matrix, The Prestige, The Joker.
And I just took his word for it, and so I didn't verify that, so I don't know.
And I figured out halfway through the week, and I was like, I still kind of want to talk about this movie anyway, so yeah. Screw it.
We're already doing it, so let's get it in. So, unfortunately, we don't have a little gag going. It was just a little fun little side thing that we were going to do, but anyway.
We done fucked it up.
So, how have you been this week?
Yeah, survived. Still, my heart's still beating, so,
That sounds a little despotic. I
feel like I had to watch this movie, so, it's going to be
What do you mean that you had to watch this movie? That's why it sounds so...
If I didn't have to...
down and dreary.
If I never have to see this movie again, it will be too soon.
You cannot be serious.
I am 110% serious.
You cannot be serious.
No, I was just
There's
so
like,
over
this is no way on any sort of scale a bad movie.
Oh, I think it's...
Other than your silly scale.
I think it's mediocre. I think that's where I would put it.
Mediocre?
I think this movie is... It's rot.
No.
I would rather... There's so many other... I would rather watch a good bad movie than this fucking...
Well, we're going to have to... Yeah, we're going rounds on this one. We talked about it last week. We knew this was coming. So...
Yeah, this is going to be a different film, bro. This is going to be a different film, bro.
Yeah, this might get intense.
Yeah. Both the first two movies we both liked.
Yeah. This is
the first time where I'm like... You know what's funny? I was thinking about this. I've had all three... ways you can look at a movie, in my opinion, change. One of them, The Matrix took a huge jump up. The Prestige went a little bit down for me. And The Joker stayed exactly where it was the first time I saw it. And I watched this movie twice during this week to get prepared for this.
Huh.
And I saw it in theaters, too. And I thought the same exact... I have not changed. I really went into it open-minded. I was ready to be like, maybe I was too harsh on you. Maybe I treated you so poorly. Like Thanos to... his little robot daughter. I found out, no, I treated her just right. I abused her just enough.
No, I just, segueing away from that. Not a bad movie. No. I just don't get how you could dislike it so much, but we're gonna get into it, and that's what we're gonna find out, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Other than that, my week has been okay. I got that tattoo. It's pretty dope. It's healing up pretty nice.
What's it from? What is it?
It's from Berserk. It's like the Egg of the King on there with Guts' Dragon Slayer and a few little other ghoul things that come and see him and his Griffiths in himself. It's pretty dope. I like it.
I like it because on the rest of his sleeve, it's all blacker skin color, and this one's red. So
yeah, I have the actual color on my forearm. The rest of my sleeve is done black and white, but I had to have the red for the Crimson Baylet. Just had to have it.
I think it looks cool as a guy who's in the color, don't you?
Yes. Done by Michelle Ballin from Velvet Lotus Tattoo. Shout out. She is the best. Here in Iowa City. So that's dope as fuck and love it. So that's pretty much the highlight of my week. And then also had a bad run-in with the internet service provider. We're going to have a little words, but we'll handle that out soon.
Yeah, it's funny. I had internet issues last week, and now he has internet issues, so...
It's just... They're just trying to do anything to stop us, but we're going to keep making this...
No excuses.
No excuses. We coming in, and we recording.
There could be a blizzard. We're still going to...
Yeah, we're just going to plan ahead. You're just going to have to stay on the couch, dog.
Yeah.
So, that's what's going to happen.
He could die, and we're still going to have an episode of Film... Or I could die, and we're still going to have an episode of Film Bros here.
Yeah, in honor. I don't know. That'd be pretty hard.
It's going to be a really sad episode.
It'd be very solemn.
Today we're talking about, what if it's like Marley and Me? It's like a depressing movie on top of the depressing situation.
all of our, any subscribers and everything, our listeners just be signed out.
Yeah, I know. If you want to skip an episode, this is the one. It's like we do Logan.
We don't even feel bad.
We do Logan or something. Just a really sad episode.
So anyway, how'd you feel about last week's episode?
The Prestige was our Vietnam. We spent a lot of time on it. We probably should have backed out of it. But, we did it. We did the thing. And I'm proud, in a way.
Yeah, it was quite difficult. It was jumped all around. We hope you guys followed along well enough. I think we did an okay job.
Yeah.
I think we got it in. It was rough, though. But the discussions and everything, I think, came out great. I'm overall happy with that. So we did miss something. There was a point that you wanted to bring up, and I just wanted to, squeeze it in real quick while we're talking about it. On this episode, what was the point you were...
It was the fingers thing, how when they were doing the big debate about why it has to be a double, and Scarlett Joe is like, well, it's not because of the fingers. And we were going to talk about how the fingers are kind of the defining moment of, that's what screws over... Crap, what's Henry Cavill's name? No, it's not Henry Cavill. Hugh Jackman, what is it?
Yeah, because that's what makes him believe that it's actually real.
Yeah.
When it's not, because it's like a twin that cut off his fingers, but they just think it's the same person. That's what leads him down that rabbit hole, because that's the fingers are the defining moment that really separates him from believing that it could be a double, because the fingers, and so
that was again he can't imagine living his life with somebody else. It's kind of that one little moment is kind of it all wrapped into one, confirmation bias. Loser's fallacy.
And it's just...
You can't even comprehend.
That was the big moment we should have, I think, spent an extra moment on just defining that's what basically got him to say, disbelieve in Cutter's assessment that it's a double. He's like, no, it can't be because what Scarlett Joe said. So, we want to hit that, make sure...
We wanted to put our finger on it.
Yeah, just make sure we covered that base. And then I also wanted to mention that David Bowie was in the film, and I couldn't remember what I knew him from and all that stuff, but I just watched The Labyrinth a few weeks ago, and he was in that, he's the Goblin King. I think, Troll King, Goblin King, something like that. And I didn't even realize it was him, because there's so much, huge gap in years. I don't even know how many years, but quite a bit. So he looks quite different. He's not dressed up in a tight little outfit, dancing around, singing. He's just, Nikola Tesla in a suit. But I just wanted to mention that too real quick.
And I showed him Space Oddity, Major Tom.
Yeah, everybody knows about Major Tom. I just didn't know that David Bowie did that. I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, that's what some people might not know.
Threw me off. So now I know that. So that's good. So how do you feel about this episode coming up? We already kind of talked about that.
I think it's gonna be a fun episode.
Yeah.
I was biting at. I felt like a dog with a steak right outside my grasp. Just excited to get into this one.
Yep, since you're so against it, and I don't really like it, we're gonna figure out why. So
yeah, it's kind of like a counseling session this time around for either or. Why do you like that, Alexander?
Yeah. We're gonna figure out, why do you hate it, William? Hi. Alright, so, want to do a quick overview?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Alright. So, The Joker released October 4th, 2019. It's rated R, 2 hours, 2 minutes long. The film received significant recognition during the award seasons. It was nominated for 11 Academy Awards and won 2 Best Actor for Joaquin Phoenix and Best Original Score for Hildur Guden Guanadoriti. I don't know. I said it Italian, but it's supposed to be German, I think. Anyway, overall, the Joker garnered 245 nominations and won 120 awards across various ceremonies, including the Golden Globes, BAFTA awards, and a whole bunch of other ones. So, I don't know, you don't like it, but apparently everybody else does.
Yeah, because the Oscars have never been wrong. They gave a silent film in 2013 Best Picture. Suck my dick.
Oh, is that that one we watched that didn't say nothing the whole time?
No, that was a different film. That movie sucks too. That's another weirdo. But come on, stop sucking your own dick, Hollywood. Black and white film in 2013.
I mean, it could have been good. What was it?
I don't know. The artist.
Oh, we'll have to check that out. Anyway,
and then they're giving Glenn Close 1,000. She's gotten 19 Oscars. Give it to someone else. Get off of it.
Anyway,
I'm just saying, Oscars is automatically
I know there's an I'm not gonna this great movie, but just saying, it's quite a bit
bunch of
of
old white dudes in
recognition.
Hollywood are like, we got to give this clown movie a freebie. You know?
White a bit of recognition. Anyway, from IMDb, the film is described as Arthur Fleck, a party clown and a failed stand-up comedian, leads an impoverished life with his ailing mother. However, when society shuns him and brands him a freak, he decides to embrace the life of crime and chaos in Gotham City. Overview storyline by Chris Pagos on IMDb says, or describes it as, okay, Arthur Fleck aspires to be a stand-up comedian. Among his small job, working as a dressed clown holding a sign for advertising, he takes care of his mother, Penny Fleck, and as he learns more about his mental illness, he knows more about his past. Dealing with all the negativity and bullying from society, he heads down on a spiral and a turn showing how his alter ego, Joker, came to be. The director is Todd Phillips. Writers, Todd Phillips, Scott Silver, and Bob Kane. The movie stars Joaquin Phoenix as Arthur Fleck, Robert De Niro as Murray Franklin, Zazie Beetz as Sophie Dumond, and
Chick from Atlanta.
Is she from Atlanta?
Yeah, she's a
I do remember
Aaron's
that.
wife. Yeah,
And then Francis Conroy as Penny Fleck.
and Paperboy.
Well, I'm not gonna put in Paperboy. That was like he's a side character way
He's
down there.
pretty
but
cool
I'm
though,
just
Paperboy.
putting the big stars out there. That's what
Also,
we're doing.
Todd Phillips. He did The Hangover and War Dogs.
Todd Phillips plays what?
He's the director.
Oh, I did not know that's what he did. I should have put that in there. So he did what else?
The Hangover trilogy and War Dogs.
Okay, so he knew what he was doing.
I really like
This-
War Dogs. If I had to rank the War Dogs, The Hangover, and Joker, I would do War Dogs, Hangover, and Joker. First,
I haven't seen War Dogs yet.
War Dogs is great. I think it's his best film.
Well, we'll have to check that out then, won't we?
Yeah. I wonder how I feel about the Joker, by the way, just from what I just said.
Well, it can't be his best. We know that.
Yeah.
Anything else before we jump in?
Joker 2 will not be affecting this review.
Oh, yes. So this week on October 4th, we're recording this right now on October 7th. And the 4th is when the news Joker came out. We have nothing to do with that one. We haven't seen it yet. I didn't even know it was coming out until we were researching this, and I was just like, oh, shit. Like, it's just, everything popped up that was coming out. I'm like, oh, well, we're not going to let that affect us. Maybe we'll check it out later. Put it on, our review list for some other time. Just let us know if that's something you might want to do after you hear this one. But we'll work that out later.
And I know that movie has a lot of answers to the questions we're going to be asking about this. This movie's more dreamlike. Like,
And
we don't really...
It sets up the base of, like, how the character came to be, though.
Yeah. So, like, what I'm just trying to say, though, is we're not going to have the information... we're not going to know something's a definitive fact now.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of missing information that if you've seen that second movie come
Yeah.
out, you might have these answers that we're having questions to now, but we'll get there when we get there. So
Honestly, I think this is the more fun side to be on because, like, Joker 2 answers a lot of this stuff, and I think that kind of takes away
and it
from
won't
the
be from, like, us when we did
discussion.
The Matrix, and we're like, oh, we know what happens in the second Matrix and third Matrix, so...
So it's kind of a fun time period.
Yeah,
like,
this
we
is
can
gonna
only
be
really
raw.
make this podcast right now.
Yeah.
Because, 10 years from now, and everybody's going to be like, well, I already told it, Joker 2, I already know.
Yeah, we're already seen it.
Yeah. Or we got to go in fresh.
Exactly.
So
this is good. Quick question before we start. How do you feel about the Joker, and what's the franchise?
Batman?
The DC, or...
Batman.
Is it DC?
It's Batman.
Is it DC?
DC, yeah.
Okay.
Detective
So,
Comics.
Joker, is he like your favorite DC villain, or is he one of your favorites?
I
If
think
not, who is your favorite?
Oh man, that's hard, dude. You put me on this. That's like asking me my astrology side or something.
Yeah, we'll put out actually.
Oh
Kicks
man,
you off guard, get the wrong answer.
Joker's pretty high up there. The Riddler is really funny. Bane as I'll say this. Bane would be if it was like of all Banes were either Dark Knight or Harley Quinn Bane. If that was the default Bane, we'd be saying Bane right now. But I gotta give it to the Joker.
Well, I like the OG Bane where, he was still juicing up with fucking adrenaline and stuff like that.
And he's from south of the border.
Yeah.
I am Bane.
I love that Bane. But
Yeah, no, I gotta give it to Joker, and he's had so many good performances. And I shit on this. There's two things I can't take away from this movie. One, visually, it is stunning. It's a very pretty movie. It's shocking how well they did kind of the time travel back to 70s Chicago. Another thing I can't take away from this movie is Joaquin. I never get it right. Joaquin Phoenix, like, him just doing the Christian Bale thing and weighing about as much as the water does when I get out of the shower, or I'm trying to say he's really skinny because I'm a fat kid and I have all that water wrapped around me.
I was not following that whatsoever, so I'm glad you clarified. Thank you.
Anyhow, or his acting ability, because there is like a lot of I wrote down some lines in this movie when I'm like, that's really good. I really like that. Or it's like I've used it in videos I've made for TikTok because I'm like, it's a very memeable moment. Now, does that necessarily make it good?
Memeable moments.
Does
we
that
need to
make
make that
it
a
good?
segment in our show. Memeable moments.
Yeah.
I like that.
And it's just like, does it make a good movie, though? I think my argument's going to be, I don't think it does.
It definitely helps layer it in, which I'm going to make that point later. So.
Well, you have bad movies that are quotable, too.
I mean, it's not just quoting, but it's also the atmosphere of it. Like you said, the color palette they use, the like visual, just the way that they use the visuals create a certain atmosphere.
Yeah, again, this movie does have that. I just think, to me, it's like what's happening around it. It's kind of like to me, it's like a really hot chick with just no personality. That's what this movie feels like to me. And when I get to know her, I don't like her.
Honestly, this is like, it's more like a hideous chick with all kinds of personality and like damaged mommy issues, I guess, on this one. Or daddy issues. Daddy issues!
But I'm talking about like the visuals or the cosmetics.
Issues.
Like, it's a very pretty movie.
I see it totally different.
Yeah. But like, I don't know, I kind of look at it as like that, just like a very, like, oh, you're kind of saying what I want you to say, but you're just doing it in such a dumb way.
Right here.
It's...
And, step back 1 second. Wilson Fisk is my favorite villain. Just want to say that.
That's Marvel, though.
Is it?
Daredevil, yeah. You gotta come up with something new.
Wilson Fisk is,
he's the kingpin of New York. Bald man.
Yeah, doesn't he fight?
He fights Spider-Man. Remember in Multiverse, or in that Spider-Man movie?
Oh, delete all that. Anyway.
What's your favorite villain now from DC?
I have no idea now.
You got the Joker, Scarecrow, Mr. Freeze.
Oh, my favorite definitely is the
Brainiac.
Scarecrow. He's all kinds of fucked up and twisted.
Yeah, Scarecrow's pretty cool.
He's pretty great. Alright, so Scarecrow's my favorite. So I'll cut out all that other shit. Anyway.
No, I think you gotta leave it in there. You gotta leave the ball busting.
I will,
You gotta leave it in there as part of the record.
I see. I'll make it all sound nice. Alright, so, we ready to jump into this?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, let's break this down. First scene, he's getting ready for a show, acting all weird. Sad clown with his teardrop, sad clown makeup on, everything. And like, I guess he's getting ready for one of his gigs from the job he's at.
He's a clown mercenary for Gary. Not so, Gary, his boss.
He's all getting dressed up and ready for his clown gig job where he had to go twirl a sign for some business for, I guess a few hours a day or something like that. I mean, and honestly, you couldn't pay me enough to go do that job, so kudos. Actually, in New Orleans, they tried to get us to kind of do something similar with our menus when I was serving, and they call us barkers. And that's what people would do out there, like trying to lure people in with signs and stuff. Barkers. Anyway, kids run up and steal a sign, and he starts chasing after him in his clown shoes, which is kind of impressive because he's hauling ass, just flopping, galloping down the street after these kids. Still gets his ass kicked at the end of it. Jumped in an alley while he's chasing after the kids.
So, I got two things to say about this. One, what is that sign made out of? Because he's twirling it pretty freely there, and it's like, is this plastic? Is this wood? Because it knocks him on the ground.
Oh, he's also like a piece of frail plastic himself down there.
Yeah, but I still feel like it would have to be made out of something pretty sturdy.
Oh, I mean, I've seen those, I can't even think of what it's called, but campaign signs that you put in your yard are made out of. Yeah. But then it also does shatter in a million pieces like it's plastic. I'm sure the actual prop is made out of a few different substances, but...
I'm just saying, in lore, what is this? And then two...
It's breakable.
When people are like, this Joker could take on the Batman, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. He got his ass kicked by
This is even before he's
Nah, come on, man. Would you
fucking
get jumped?
Batman fell in a hole and cried about a bunch of bats flying around.
He was 8 years old. This
Doesn't
man's
matter.
middle age. Are you shitting me?
He hasn't had
Are
a
you
chance to
shitting
really.
me?
Everybody's
man.
story starts at different points. Okay,
Oh my yeah. Oh.
Everyone's story.
My story doesn't start until I'm middle aged. Put me fucking down, dude.
Maybe it is right now. We're almost middle age, and we're starting our story now.
So you just came out of like you were born yesterday, quite literally.
That's all anybody's gonna know or not.
Oh my god, that's ridiculousness. The Joker wants to forget his past because he got his ass kicked by like 4 12-year-olds.
Well, it cuts to him talking to his therapist, laughing all strange and crazy. He's got hella crow's feet. You can just see he looks like aged and just withered and super skinny. And it's like what the therapist is talking about is very much like how it is outside. The situation is tense. People are struggling. And it's like very similar to what it is today, I feel like, outside. Just everything's pretty tense. People are struggling. It's kind of crazy. It's like how it kind of, as it's telling the story of this, this old story of Batman is alluding into new things today, I guess, if you will.
Always hearing those sirens.
Yeah. Constantly hearing the sirens outside, so.
Also, this counselor woman is like, she would scare me as a perfectly... Well, I can't say, got my own share of mental health problems, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we are.
But, I would be scared of this woman. She just seems like she's the one who judges if you get into heaven or not. Like,
I just feel like she just doesn't give a fuck. What she kind of says.
I think she does kind of give a fuck.
I think she wants to, maybe, or did at one point, but just like, it's the job is paying the bills for right now, I just gotta get through my day. That's kind of the vibe I got off her.
And then, like, something she says in this first conversation at Odie's. Yeah, oh my god. In this first conversation with Arthur, she says, does it feel good to talk to someone? It felt better in the hospital.
Alluding to that, that he had been locked up before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she asks, like, if he's been journaling, and he says yes, and she asks if she brought it, and he says no, but then pulls it out and says he uses it as a joke journal. And notes and thoughts and ideas and stuff. I'm like, I got stacks of those of my own. And then you kind of see she's flipping through the pages, and then she sees like one joke that says, or one line or from the notebook that says, "I hope my death brings or makes," I can't remember what it says, brings or makes more sense than my life. Sense spelled CENTS as in money, so.
He's a really smart guy, this Arthur.
Yeah. He's very clever, William. It's anyway.
Really a master.
Just thought I'd point it out. Fuck you. And then she says that what you were mentioning, that kind of shows up. He was locked up in a psych ward at one point,
and that is one of our few genuinely funny moments of the movie, because like hard cuts to him banging his head.
It's not
against
funny.
The door.
That's tragic.
It's hysterical, dude.
I don't see
it
how
was
that's
so funny
whatsoever.
And he's like, I enjoyed being in, the hospital more than I do out here. And it cuts to him
banging his head against the wall. Okay, I get it.
It's really funny. Like,
that's tragic.
Because he enjoyed. He enjoyed his life more in a psych ward, banging his head so hard.
He used to be like not forced to do all this stupid shit society makes him.
Oh yeah, stupid shit like not bad, man. If I could just bang, he's like a gooner, but for brain damage. Like if I could just sit there.
I don't want to say I'll give you that point, but I guess I'll give you that point.
That's what he wants to do. That's him in his like true environment. Is him just banging his head against the wall.
How is this? Yeah.
Because he's like, I'd rather be in there.
We haven't hit his true environment yet until the end of the movie. That's when he gets his real self on.
I'm just saying what he's saying right now. I'm just bringing up what he's talking about right now. It's his words. That's exactly Oscar-winning movie here. But
it's showing the psych ward banging his head. Yes, he got points to you. Fuck you. He wants to increase his medication, and she lets him know like he's on 7 different meds already, and he was just like, I just don't want to feel this way anymore. He just doesn't want to feel bad anymore. Even though he's on 7 medications, he still, wants to increase, I guess, either the amount of meds or the dosage of the ones he got already. Either way, that's just kind of sad. He'd rather, he was happier in the psych ward, banging his head up against the wall, and he just really could use some more drugs so he doesn't feel bad anymore.
That's what he was doing his true calling.
Super sad all around, not funny. So fuck you.
But I got something to bring up here.
Bring it up.
Because a big thing later on is like, oh, they've cut our funding, so I can't see you anymore.
Uh-huh.
But the guy gets 7 medications from this woman. He obviously doesn't really have that big of a bond with this woman, right? And he says he feels like shit still with all those medications. So when his medications get cut, it's not really that big of a deal, is it? Because they don't make you feel better, and you don't even like seeing her. Oh, so that's not really a huge loss, is it? When you act like, oh, society's giving up on me. Well, you were already bummed out.
Society,
nothing changed.
That's like the bare minimum we probably had. Like, you probably could have had somebody better. And what, was she a psychologist? Just a social worker?
Social worker, I think, yeah.
But how could she prescribe medicines or whatever? Or she just kind of relay the information to the doctor?
Well, we don't know how the government bureaucracy of this shithole Gotham situation is.
Yeah,
it seems all fucked. It's all sorts of fucked. And again, like, I get what the movie is, like, trying to, like, oh, social services getting cut and stuff. And it's like, yeah, but again...
Were they really helping? And that's probably
what I'm saying.
That's probably what it is portraying and showing, that even though they have these state-funded programs, like, it's just the bottom of the barrels help.
But why would I feel bad, though? Why is it... This doesn't do anything for your case. This doesn't add anything. If they would have been good, and that's what I think this movie's big problem is if they would have been... if it would have actually helped Arthur... You know what I mean? Like, if Arthur was a normal dude, medicated and, like, successful...
He got off his meds and, like, look at the fucking rabbit hole, like, the fucking spiral he went down.
Is it really that?
The rest of this movie is... He starts killing motherfuckers!
That was kind of always going to be there, though.
Was it? He was on his meds and he was being... Like, maybe that was preventing him from going off the fucking... off the rails.
I don't know. That's some pretty weak sauce argument, though.
It's an argument.
It's an argument, yeah, sure. Anything can be an argument.
Yeah, well,
the world's made out of cheese. That's an argument.
Incredible argument.
Is it, though?
It's something. And keep moving. It cuts to him right on the bus home, or on the train home, bus home. And he's being goofy for this kid in front, in the seat in front of him. The kid's mama ain't having it. Sends him, and like she's all like, turns the kid around, all that stuff, and it sends Arthur into a laughing fit, and she's all looking at him like he's crazy, so he lifts up this card explaining his condition, and it's just kind of the beginning of where we see him laughing like hysterical at the time and have a reason for it, and kind of puts the whole basis of why the Joker's always laughing throughout every fucking rendition that the Joker's ever been in, throughout, all the movies and TV shows and cartoons. It's always laughing. I feel like this is the big hola to that,
Well, one of the answers, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. He moseys home. We see P. Fleck on the mailbox when he's getting the mail out.
But I got a question about this kid. The Joker kid. This is like one of the few times, or not a question I guess, but like, I think this is one of the few times where I actually like this dude. Where he's just trying to make a kid smile or whatever, and he's not just being an absolute piece of shit.
Today's day in the world and stuff, you don't creep on, like...
But he doesn't know better.
Yeah, and he's just trying to be friendly, I get it, but in today's day in society, that's just creeper shit. Don't be doing that.
Yeah, you can't be doing that nowadays.
Especially when you're all weird and creepy-ish like that. You gotta know, like, you're all giggly and strange. And...
So you mean this mastermind genius, what stands for this huge revolution?
He isn't yet. He's just like most heroes and shit. He just accidentally did some shit. He was doing what he was doing, and everybody thought it was fucking grand greatness. Hey. And then he's just like, oh shit, I'm gonna run with it.
General George Washington
we'll get there.
In wars and shit before the American Revolution. He was doing shit.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And nobody thought to tell a story about him until that shit culminated to something, I'm
just saying, he was a pretty cool dude beforehand, too. I just said I had to, I just wanted to talk about the mom and stuff, and like...
Yeah, I mean, that was a good point. Yeah, I wanted to...
Again, it was one of the few times where I'm like, oh, this guy's kind of cool. He seems like...
That's like me. I'm like, I didn't like that. So,
yeah.
That's funny.
That's funny, yeah. The one...
we swapped sides on this one.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, I really like this one, but I hate that one.
I like it. Don't creep on my kid.
I'm just saying, it's like, he had good intentions, though.
Yeah, the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Well, I think that's what one of his movies about.
Maybe. Yeah, okay. So he moses home. We see P. Fleck on the mailbox when he's getting his mail. He gets inside, and we see him taking care of his mama. And she's watching TV, and she's talking about Thomas Wayne, and she was mentioning how she worked for him years ago, like 4 years ago, and thinks he's going to be a good mayor because they're seeing her on the TV, him talking, and whatever, that's running for mayor. She thinks like, oh, I used to work for him back in the day, and he's going to be a good mayor, huh? And then the Murray Franklin show starts coming on. They get all excited. And they both get, like, comfy up in bed, watch it together. Clearly something that's gone on, you know, an activity between them that they do often. Murray Franklin, played by Robert De Niro.
I think he does a great job.
I think he does a great job, too.
I really love it.
Like, hiring him for that, like, part, it's just, like, that's a huge character for that, you know, just kind of almost a side role, but he really plays it out well, I think.
And I think the reason he's in this movie is because of its, like...
Taxi driver, fucking...
Yeah.
I didn't even put that together earlier when I'm... Oh... Yep, you hit that one.
It's a little fun reference. And he does a great job, too. It's like, that's a big problem with modern movies is, like, they'll put in a person for reference, like, but then they suck now.
Or they just have, like, an insignificant kind of role.
Or they're just there just to be, like, member berries. Like, okay, But at least he serves a purpose. He does a whole other thing.
It's not just, like, to recall for, like, oh, if you don't get it yet, you know.
I kind of like this way more than, like, just bringing back an old character.
Yes.
Or, I know they aren't connected, but, you know, just that in general.
No, I'm picking up what you're putting down right there. Mm-hmm. Smelling what you're stepping in. So Arthur envisions himself, though, as they're watching it, envisions himself in the crowd of the show, laughing in a very unsettling way, calls out, I love you, Murray, and imagines being called out, put on the spotlight, getting a one-on-one little talk with Murray while Murray's on stage and he's in the audience just talking to him. And he talks about how he takes care of his mother, and he takes good care of his mother. And Mama said he
will
spread joy and laughter, much kind of like Mama's boy shit, acting. He's just all very cheeky and everything. And then Murray invites him on stage. He gets on stage and Murray tells him, you know, you imagine that while the crowd's kind of cheering, Murray leans in and whispers to him and tells him that he would trade all the lights in the crowd and everything in for everything if he could have a son like him, which is just very strange and creepy and weird. Anything on that?
Oh, I got a lot. Lived with my mother before I made it. That hits a little too hard for me. Please support Film Bros. And then he's like, I bet you take good care of your mother. And I'm like, he sure does later on.
He sure does.
And then the Murray sequence is like kind of really touching in a way because it is really heartfelt and I think it is really great acting across the board, but very depressing in the context of it being this dude's like vision of what
like kind of a fantasy of what the best situation would go if he was on the show.
Yeah, so it's like in a way it's kind of like it's a good scene, but it is really just depressing. It might be
that's
actually
how you imagine
more
it. Like he just needs clearly some sort of acceptance and love from a fatherly figure.
You know what this is? This is the cinematic equivalent of the kids that sell lemonade for their mom's brain cancer.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like supposed to be like a feel-good story. Yeah, it's like a feel-good story.
That's what I love on that subreddit, Orphan Crushing Machine. It's just all those stories of just people, you know, saving up for a year of their lunch money. Instead of getting lunch, they, you know, buy a treatment for, you know, or buy someone's fucking, shot.
Like insulin.
Insulin dose for the month. It's just like, oh, that's just terrible. It's supposed to be feel-good, but it's not.
It's not. It's feel terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But some other things before we jump to the Murray Show. Super Rats. As things couldn't get any worse. And I'm like, that's just a really funny, on the little TV before the Murray Show comes on, like on the news, like Super Rats.
I missed that.
And I'm like, that's so funny to me. I'm like, how it couldn't get any worse. Like, it literally says that on the TV. Like, how could it get any worse?
I missed it.
And then,
I didn't see it.
And then his mom at one point says, look how skinny you are. And this is like one of the few times where a mom like says that or a grandma says that, and it's actually like true. Like, you know, your grandma says it all the time, but you're like fat, you know?
Yeah.
But like this guy needs to eat
my
a
grandma
chicken
would always
leg.
be like, doesn't matter what you are, if you're skinny or fat, she's like, oh, you need to eat something. Or like, boy, you fat. Like, damn it, kitty.
But
go fluff off somewhere.
But yeah, no, I thought that was like a really funny, like it's one of the few times where it's like, he needs to eat it.
She's going to step right back on there. Just shut me down. Come here. Big fluffy ass, yeah. Fluff on. Alright.
And another thing, when he was like walking into the apartment, I loved how dark and dreary it was. Like the setting of the city, if you just hear the sirens, like when he's opening the mailbox and just just depressing.
Just dismal fucking existence that he has to go back to.
As a city or a country mouse, I'm like, fuck this. Like, I'll fucking kill myself if I ever end up in a shithole city. This is what a real shithole is to me. Like, this just is a bummer.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other, I feel like, movies that portray some pretty shitty flop houses and stuff like that. in New York City they can get. Well, is it Chicago or is it New York? It's Gotham. It's like a mix of both.
No, they go back and forth, dude. Because it's like
because they have the train, like
Chicago,
like the train.
I think it's
Chicago
New York.
train, but then it's New York Underground subways and shit too. Which I don't know.
I don't think they care. I think it's New York. I think that
it's supposed to be New York, but I think it's somewhat mix of both too.
Yeah, they probably shot this in like Atlanta or something.
They probably just shot it all on a green screen, actually.
Yeah.
Like, most of it. I'm sure there's a few, alleys and shit here, but yeah. So after the Murray show, or like, it goes to Arthur in the locker room for his clown gig. Like, goes out of the fantasy, goes to him at work for his locker room clown gig. Fellow clowns say he's heard about how he got jumped, and that fellow clown's what's his name? Randall. Here's how he got jumped and hands him a pistol, 38 special, which is kind of like a nice gesture. I don't know if like he was actually trying to be nice or if that was all about, but it turns out to be a whole device in the whole story of like
it's a backstab because he tells the boss gets told.
Yeah,
yeah.
But okay.
So it's not a nice thing.
And the gun guy makes it a joke to Gary and asks if it's miniature golf or if it's just golf that he plays. It's terrible.
My question, too, about that scene is Arthur actually laughing at it, or is it the thing?
I think it's like the uneasy tension of the thing.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't feel like Arthur would laugh at this, but
right.
I don't think he would get that joke, as we know he doesn't understand comedy.
He does, and he probably just thought it was funny because that's the only David was ever nice to him. That's what he says later.
Yeah. Which, bullshit.
He gets called to the boss's office, and the boss wants him to get the sign back to that business that got stolen and broken over his face. But he got jumped, but the boss doesn't believe him. Like, who's going to steal a sign, really? Just return the sign or you're fired. Comes out of your check or something like that, fired. So he's frustrated as fuck and goes to the alley and lets it out on some trash. So he's beating the hell out of some trash cans and trash.
Let me ask you this. I'm going to put you on the spot here. Is there any way, Arthur, you could prove to me that this happened? Like a bruise on your body? Some pain that you have to deal with at all times? You can take off your shirt
and show them all the, big bruises in the back. So, you think I did this to myself?
Yeah. You think he could have done that in the moment instead of go punch garbage because he's such a visionary genius?
Well, at the time, he was so accustomed to taking people's shit his whole life that he's just like... That's why he's sitting there, like, giving the whole smile, like, he's trying to... he can't understand what the guy's not understanding, and that's why you can see it in his eyes, like, Joaquin Phoenix did a great job acting out, like, just the sheer rage behind him, like, I don't understand what you're not getting. I got robbed, and I'm like, I'm not full of shit. I'm not bullshit. I don't know how else they did it. Like, through frustration or rage, maybe he didn't think to, like, look at my bruises on my back. Maybe
he didn't want to because he was like... thinking.
Because maybe he was... nervous and afraid, because that's what he is a nervous little afraid guy.
Again, just 2 inches of logic rubbing together would have really helped him out in this situation.
I think in this situation, he might have just been stunned because he's a quiet, soft-spoken person for right now. He's not that Joker yet. He's not the evil, maniacal fucking mastermind.
Mastermind? Wait, did you just say mastermind?
Yes. Later on, he's a mastermind that always gets caught. It's fine.
I think that's the antithesis of a mastermind, is someone who goes out and gets caught.
Everyone has to start somewhere. Some people ain't good at chess until they practice and play chess. So how is he going to be good until motherfucker...
This isn't even chess.
That's what mastermind is chess.
If my boss was like, hey...
People gotta practice, I'm saying.
People were like, oh, the garbage wasn't taken out last night. And it's like, well, I slipped and fell, and I really hurt myself. And it's like, oh, can you prove it? Oh, yeah, let me show you this bruise. That isn't a mastermind. That isn't fucking playing shit. That is basic common sense.
Okay, yes, that is for most well-adjusted, socially, acclimated people. But for him, he is very not that.
So, but this is a whole other reason.
Speak up for himself or do anything else.
This is a whole nother reason, though, like, oh, society's so terrible, everything's bad in my life. And it's like, it's not really that bad. Like, this is kind of your fault for not showing your bruises.
But, like, some people just don't have that gumption. They don't have that.
I'm just saying.
Sad. Yeah, but it's like
not
a fact.
But, again, all this shit tears apart, to me, his argument that, like, all society's bad. No one's ever been nice to me. Like, that just weakens this argument because there's, like, 2 reasons.
Society has been for a while, and, like, he's just kind of... what is that? Just when you're constantly beat down by the world, you just kind of accept it as an inevitability, and, like, he just doesn't know how else He hasn't tried any other way to change his outlook on, or change his station in life. Just hasn't tried anything yet. He doesn't know. This is how he's always rolled with the punches and taken it. And then this is where it shows him, like, eventually hitting his fucking limit. Final straw has been and broken. The camel's back, and he's gonna go. People are gonna reap the fucking repercussions of all that shit.
I think it would just be a much more powerful man. It's like half, to me, it's like half the story right there. Because it's like, if he was a super successful guy, and he just had a bunch of just shit luck happen to him, and like maybe like they're gonna foreclose on his house and they're taking his kids away. Or something like that, where it's like this is a guy who was successful.
Well, it's different sticks. This dude has had the shit out of the stick from day one.
But, like, to me, that guy, though, I could buy starting a movement. I could, like...
But he didn't even intentionally... It's not like he was out here trying to start a movement.
Well, that's another problem I have.
He just starts sticking up for himself, and now all of a sudden a movement's fucking happening?
No.
You're blaming someone on him. He's just doing... These are...
That's the problem with him, though. You can't have your cake and eat it,
but
too.
he had no intention of that. That was not his.
Oh, my...
No, he's having cake and eating it because he didn't even make the cake. He was like, oh, damn.
Oh, my God.
He was making it, but I don't know.
I just think...
And he was giving a slice.
I just think that's some bullshit. You can't be like, oh, I was here to start a movement or anything. I mean, give him credit for some movement.
What? He didn't give himself the credit? The people did. That's all it was. Like, he just did some shit, and everyone else is freaking out around him. He went and hid. He didn't tell nobody about nothing. Like, what do you mean? He didn't start a movement. He just did some shit. And then a movement just formulated around him.
So, I just...
By no fault of his own, other than that, he just did the things to set that whole shit in motion. You know, society was already on the edge, like they were talking about in that meeting before, and so he just lit the already filled up and gas-doused powder kegs that were waiting to blow. After that, shows him going home, and he holds the elevator open for the pretty lady, Zazie Beetz, or Sophie Dumond. Neighbor's name is Sophie, I guess. Don't think we get her name throughout the whole movie, though, do we?
No.
He doesn't ever say nothing like that.
Might say the last scene with her in it.
Maybe. So, and then her daughter. So they ride up complaining about the building, and she does the whole shoot myself in the head gesture. And then they leave the elevator, they go different directions down the hall. And he stops him like, hey, and look over, and he imitates the gesture in a super creepy way, and smiles like the same head, like shooting in the head gesture. It's very awkward, strange, but she like smiles and like and walks off.
And this is the only real moment with her until the last one, right?
I think so.
That's as far as I...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the only way he knows she... Well, then there's the stalking moment.
Yeah, so
I think there's like 3.
But... I don't know if the stalking was still real or not.
I think everything post-stalking is.
I think stalking is fake too. We'll get to... We'll see it, how we feel at the end of that too. At the end of the movie too with that. It cuts from the whole creepy shoot myself in the head gesture to him at home, washing mama in the tub. And she's all about how Thomas Wayne gonna help him out or should help him out because she worked there forever, this and that. And he says he's gonna make it though in comedy. And mom asked, don't you gotta be funny to be a comedian? And
dude, you
gotta see that sting.
Yeah, what a punch to the groin. Like, just you're always gonna have those haters, but for to be your own mom.
Yeah, you gotta have mama supporting you. Like, especially he's a mama's boy. Like,
yeah. So that was brutal. And she says, Thomas Wayne will care. I promise you, but I can't explain it better. I think you could. Add some details.
Maybe, yeah, mama. What's he hiding? He's gonna fight you because he thinks you're playing. And then he wants to be a dick and hit your keyboard.
And like Joaquin Phoenix, Joker, like, he's a middle-aged dude. I think this is the time you rip that Band-Aid off, you know?
Yeah, she should have been, but she's also, as we find out later, nutty.
Yeah.
Got a few screws loose, and yeah. So he's watching Mama, and then he goes to him after he's done watching Mama to talk about Thomas Wayne and all that stuff. Shows him playing with that gun that Randall gave him. Again, shows how damn skinny he is and how he really got for that role. He lost 52 pounds, I guess, for this role. I don't know what he was weighing before, but that's either way, especially like on a fit guy like that, to be that much lower. It's incredible.
It was like 33% of his weight or some shit like that.
A whole lot.
Yeah.
And so it shows him like dancing around with his gun, being all weird.
We can talk about, do you want to dance with me?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He's all dancing around, all crazy and weird, kind of creepy. Just I felt like
this is your hero. This is your master.
Yeah, he's a freak. That's all right. What's up? I don't mind. Like, yeah, he's just getting a little sensual with himself and a gun. And then all of a sudden, the gun just blasts off. And
he started blasting. Also, imagine being this dude's neighbor, man.
I just love how he quickly goes and turns up the TV and shit like that. I'm like, is this your first time? Because you had a plan going. Yeah. You kind of seemed like you knew what the fuck to do. I just thought it was a funny little scene where he just actually shoots it off. His mom's like yelling. I'm like, what was that? What was that? And he's like, I'm watching a war movie. Well, turn it down. Okay. I don't know if he ever shot a gun, but the smell of the gunpowder and sulfur and everything from that would definitely be reeking up the whole apartment.
But old people can't smell.
Yeah, she probably couldn't smell that much. You're right. And then it goes to the scene where he's just sitting around stalking the neighbor lady.
Totally chill. Totally normal.
It just goes around and stalking there, and the lady's daughter, watch her drop it off at school, then follow the lady on the train, and then... I
don't know if we talk about this later, but we have to just talk about this scene now, where it's later on, where she's like, that was you the other day?
Yeah, he's like...
And it's like, oh, would you want to rob my house?
Oh, yeah, we're going to do that thing, so I have it all written out later.
I'm like, that is... Yeah. That's just ridiculous.
We'll come back to, this whole creepy fucking... stalking scene that just seems to be totally accepted and hee later on, but
I'm just saying, really great guy, really great mastermind, really stands up for the common man.
Well, and also
creeping on his poor neighbor lady.
If it was legit, then what a creep lady to creep.
No, what
a naive lady, I guess, to be like, oh hee. But then we learn why.
Well, I think to me. That is the last real moment. Well,
I don't think that's real at all. No, I don't think any of that. I think the only thing real is, if it's real, is the elevator scene.
See, I was, for my argument for this guy sucking and having no redeemable qualities and either being a good guy or a bad guy, my headcanon, I'm like, yeah, he's a creeper. He would creep on that poor girl.
Well, I wouldn't say he did much good things from his actions, but he's just trying to do his thing. And people kept fucking with him, and I can see why he snapped. And we'll cover that as we go along.
Yeah.
When they're on that train scene, going in, though, when he's talking to her, that train just looks like the other Batman movies, or at least the train from the Spider-Man movies, too. It's just a very... I don't know. I know it's different worlds, right? But...
It's the same city, though, essentially.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems very similar to me. And then it shows Arthur going to a comedy show. He's taking notes and cackling, very unsettling again.
And laughing at all the wrong shit. He's not laughing at the punchlines. He's laughing at, the preamble before.
Well, it's almost a delayed reaction as he's getting the stuff from the old stuff. And he's hearing everybody laughing. And after everybody laughs, he's like, and then, and then preamble's the next one. It is just awkward and unsettling and just off.
This is one of the few times where I feel sad for this guy because I'm there's just no, he's trying. Some of his notes are actually pretty decent.
He's actually going out and doing the thing and researching that. That's more effort than I put into almost any thing. I just...
and he even has good notes crowd work, hair slick back.
Yeah, and I read the notes. He said, I saw one of the notes on the notebook. It says, "Sexy jokes always funny," and it's spelled always ALWAZE.
He's like Gen Alpha, dude. That's what he's sex jokes are always funny.
Well,
when he's an 8-year-old.
I mean, this came from the time it's supposed to be the 70s-ish,
80s. I think it's 80s.
So the different kind of comedy and humor back then.
Yeah.
He goes to him back at home writing jokes, and then there's that one, you can see it written on his notebook, mental illness is supposed to be a joke until you have it or something. People don't expect you to behave like you have a mental illness until you do, or something like that, or if you don't. What the fuck is that quote? The worst part of having mental illness is people expect you to behave as if you don't. And that's what was written on the notebook when he was writing there in the apartment.
And it's just sad, though, to see this guy try so hard to be successful at something which you just know in your bones he cannot. I don't think his mom is... I don't know, man. I just don't think Arthur's got it. Especially in the pre-internet era. I think he might have been able to survive in the internet era, but...
Well, it's just... He's trying best he can, and some people... they don't. It's your dream.
I know, yeah, no. I'm pulling for him. Again, I'm supportive of Arthur still up until this point. It's just that... I got a sinking feeling. I'm I don't think this is going to work out for him.
Yeah, and when he's writing that note, though, you can see that it was clearly not his dominant hand. Was he right-handed? But like, it seemed like he was writing in the left-handed or something like that. So I feel like there was other text on it that looked smoother, and I feel like he was writing with his opposite hand. Don't know why I just noticed that. I wanted to mention it, though.
Maybe it's because, he's so intelligent that he can barely keep track of what hand he uses to write with.
Maybe he was using it to throw off the police when they try to identify his writing. You don't know.
Before he was a criminal, when he had done.
Maybe he's anticipating that he's going to be a criminal because he's that big of a mastermind.
Yeah,
he's pre-thinking before he's even a criminal.
He's already plotting murder. He's already plotting murder.
So, a pretty neighbor comes by, knocks on the door, and asks him if he was following him the other day. And he says, yes.
Red flags, girls.
Yeah.
Red flags.
She was like, oh, I wish, you would have came in and just robbed our place. And he was like, well, I've got a gun. I can come back tomorrow. And, I'm like, which is, she's all giggling and stuff. I'm like, this is not funny.
This is a very scary man.
This is horribly creepy. You don't know this motherfucker, and he's very strange. How do you,
You have a child you need to care about.
Yeah, I feel like survival instincts would be telling you there's something off about this man. Red alert. Danger. And yeah, I don't know. And then he tells her, she's like, oh, you're so funny, Arthur. And he's like, oh yeah, well, I'm a stand-up comedian, you should come to a show sometime. And she accepts. Like, what?
I think this movie does do a good job. The first time you watched it, I didn't know. I thought it was all... Which, yep. I think this movie takes advantage of you as a viewer. And especially in, a comic booky movie, they rarely ever do something like that where it's like, oh, it was just in your mind the whole time. That seems like not a typical thing you would see.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a Fight Club allusion to, because we think it's actually happening, and then we find out it's all in his head. And then they even do the side-by-side clips like they do in Fight Club.
I hate that.
And they show, where he thought she was standing there, but she wasn't. Or she thought she was sitting there in mom's hospital room, but she wasn't. She thought, or he thought, all these little things happened, but they didn't. It was all in his head.
I hate that.
That might have been a little ode or a little nod.
Fight Club?
Fight Club.
I hate that scene.
Dude, we should watch Fight Club, dog.
Never seen it.
What? You never seen Fight Club?
Never seen Fight Club.
I'm a horrible brother. Okay,
well, that's why we started the podcast.
On the list, here we go. Yeah, okay. It goes to Arthur, dressed as a clown, doing a show for some cancer kids.
Wait, I gotta read you my description I wrote, because I was very proud of this. Patch Adams, bozo, drops his gat at the wake, at a... Goddamn, oh wait, give me a second. Yeah. Patch Adams, bozo, drops his gat at the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
I'll say it smoothly.
Patch Adams, bozo, drops his gat at the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Why'd you say gat? Just say gat.
I think gat's not even right, because I think that's what the youth call women, or a hot chick is a gat. So I didn't even use it right.
I am so out of touch with
the Gen Alpha. These days. Dude, we gotta watch. Highly recommend video right now. Gen Alpha.
I barely just learned sus. Okay,
sus. That's wild. I use
old
sus
now. I use it plenty too, but I'm like, that's the newest one I got.
People remade the Fallout opening, Fallout 3's opening, but with Gen Alpha speak, and they even did AI for the voice. It's fucking hysterical. Check that out.
Yeah, well, no, you're going to have to show me these.
It's really
on my own, but,
it's really fun.
It's just, I realize how old I'm getting, because I don't know the lingo. So it's Arthur dressed as a clown, dancing for some kids in a children's hospital, cancer ward, and he's stomping his feet because he's happy as the song is going. Ends up stomping out his gun, and then he frantically picks it up and acts all coy about it, oops. And then some kids giggle, and then it shoots to him in a phone booth, and to you youngins out there, it's a glass box with a phone in it. And you used to have to call people back before cell phones. You had to actually find a phone somewhere and just use these public phones they had everywhere. In case y'all youngins didn't know what a phone booth was, that's what it is. And yes, I am old enough to have used one.
I've never used a phone booth.
Yes, well, because you're not old enough, youngin'. Anyway, so he's talking to his boss, and the boss is firing him.
Randall sells him downriver.
Yeah, and he's trying to say that it was just a prop to his boss for his new bit that he's doing as a clown. And the boss says Randall gave him the gun when he was trying to sell, but saying he was trying to buy it off him. Arthur was trying to buy it off Randall last week. His boss just calls him a liar, and fires him over this whole situation, which, you bring a gun to a children's hospital is pretty stupid,
Yeah.
But maybe it's all part of his plan.
Yeah.
His master plan that he set up so he could help
plan.
himself descend into that dark spot to become the Joker. You know, you gotta hit rock bottom before, he can...
So you mean you should purposely fuck up your whole entire
Well, maybe that's what he needed. His life wasn't going that well already, so maybe...
Still better than what it ended up being.
Was it, though? Because he's, like, this huge, like, influential rich crime boss. Not rich, but, like...
Yeah, not...
Has
crime boss
ability and stuff.
Nobody's, like, listening
He can go against the Batman all the time, billionaire, and keep Batman on his tail.
I don't think this is this Joker, though.
He's a pretty tough. It is the Joker.
It's not the Joker. Because Bruce Wayne's like 8 years old, so like when he's 20, he's gonna be like a 50-year-old dude. He's gonna be old as shit.
We see it, and
he's malnourished.
What's his name is the Joker, and then the original Batman guy back in the...
These aren't all the same timeline, though. They're multiverse shit.
We're gonna go with that one, because he goes...
Oh, you can't do that.
Yes, I can.
It's all separate universes, dude. They're all different.
We're going to go with the original Batman trilogy that came out in, the 90s?
God.
And
dude, this guy is not...
Who's the actor of that?
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson plays the Joker, and who's the Batman?
Fuck me. It's the guy for... Oh, my God.
Damn, I know.
Kevin.
No, it's Kay.
It's the dude from the other guys. He's the sergeant. Michael Keaton.
There you go.
You can't be bridging these movies. That's outrageous.
That's what it goes into.
Jack, this guy has none of the...
Beautiful.
This guy has none of the riz.
And he has the green hair. He has the purple suit.
And
he's older than that Batman. And that, so like he's much older. So it's perfect.
Outrageous.
Works.
Outrageous.
And like he looks older in the film, but maybe he's only like 28 really, but he looks like 35, 40 because he's so skinny and malnutritious and has such a shit life.
This is preposterous.
I'm just telling you how it works, dog.
Outrageous.
This is what it is.
We're fusing Batman 89 and the Joker together.
Yeah, because
outrageous.
It's the Rogue One to the original trilogy, baby.
What are you talking about?
This is the Rogue One of the Batman original trilogy.
You are insane.
And it does the exact same thing. I'll bring it up here in a minute.
Dude,
I want to unveil that to you. This is the Rogue One of Batman.
I just want to say I apologize on the behalf of our audience.
Nope.
We had 2 episodes grounded in reality. Grounded in movie watching.
No, this is where shit gets real, son.
No,
this is real.
This is insane. Yep. This is like
the
wildest conspiracy theory I've ever heard.
It's not a conspiracy theory. It does it just like Rogue One does in the Star Trek trilogy, or Star Wars trilogy.
This is...
as it does... Joker does for the Batman trilogy.
I am flabbergasted, guys.
Yeah.
I am flabbergasted.
Yeah.
This is...
I just dropped a bombshell on Beaver Cleaverville. What's up?
That is insane. This is insane, dude.
Yeah, it's insanely awesome.
I'm just saying, as for my own sanity and not to get canceled by the community, I'm not saying that Batman 89 and the Joker are any way nor how related.
I'm saying it is.
I'm saying that is insane.
I think it's brilliant. We'll talk about it later. We'll get there. Okay.
I can't wait until Joker 2 just ruins.
We're not gonna get there. No, it's gonna enforce it. What if I'm right and I just slap the shit out of everybody? Which I know I'm right because it is. It shows the pearls and he got shot in the alleyway.
Oh, we're not there yet.
Perfect. Anyway,
that happens in every Batman movie, though.
I know. So. Why can't it work for the 89 trilogy?
It's all like a multiverse thing, though. There's always going to be the Waynes.
You can't just keep pulling out multiverse.
But they're all separate. They're all in their own little sandbox. There's always going to be a Batman. There's always going to be a Joker, but how you...
And the pearls ripped off and the deaths and all that?
They die in every... There's pearls in every single one of those motherfucking movies. There's pearls in Batman 89.
And so how does that make me wrong? How's that make me wrong?
That doesn't prove you're right. They're in every movie. They're in every movie. You're connecting to
I like it. I'm gonna stick with it.
It's Batman in my brain. We see it in Batman 89 though. There's 2 different Wayne scenes that multiverse do. Get the fuck.
It's not 2 different ones. It's basically the same thing.
They're different actors.
I know that. They're different actors in the fucking Star Wars one too. It's all the same.
This is insane. This is insanity, dude. This is
so,
madness.
He's riding home on the subway in his clown outfit. All sad because he got fired. A few Wall Street frat boys get on the train and start harassing him, or start harassing some woman. And she looks towards Arthur like she's in distress or something. Like, you gonna help me, skinny man over there in the clown suit? Like, I don't know if that's what her eyes were conveying, but it was definitely like they made eye contact and she looked alarmed. And he starts breaking out in his uncontrollable laughing fit, and that gets the frat boys' attention. One of them comes up singing some clown song to him. Another one comes up and takes his hair. They ask, he's like, sitting there laughing, so they ask him, like, what's so funny? And they begin to fuck with him. He tries to defend himself a little bit, but they knock him down and, begin to kick shit out of him. And he's laughing, all controlled throughout the whole thing, and then all of a sudden, just starts blasting, and it shoots two of the three of them, and then one tries to escape, and he's all, like, running down the terminal of, stop, and I just like how the dude Arthur's steadily walking after him with his arms straight out, just all crazy looking. I believe that's kind of a similar vision that they took from Taxi Driver. I remember seeing some clip that kind of reminded me of that same thing, of Taxi Driver. Yeah, he's walking the dude down. He eventually ends up shooting him in the back a couple times and ends that dude. The outfit there, too, looks very similar to the one he ends up in. I remember seeing that, kind of making a note of it. So, he runs off, all weird looking, like he ain't run much in his life. Finds some bathroom and locks the door and starts a dance, and it's kind of very Tai Chi-esque. I thought he was going to pull off like a Hadouken. I forgot who that dude was. He always did the Hadoukens back in the day, but it just kind of reminded me of a Hadouken.
I think it's Ryu.
What?
Ryu? The Hadouken guy.
Yeah, Hadouken guy. Sounds about right. And after dancing and stuff and that...
Cool. I got some stuff about the song. You keep running. I was waiting for
you gotta stop me, man. I'm gonna keep going until you stop me. I'm just gonna keep burning through,
You got stuff to say? Jesus.
When I have something to say, then I'll say it. But if you got something to say, you gotta stop me like you did.
All right, just calm down, all right? You can cut it out. You can cut it all. I'm still reeling in from the whole Batman 89 thing. I'm still trying to cut that. That took me.
You're so stunned.
Yeah, I'm like, that is wild. I did not expect that. That was not on the checklist for today. Like, I thought war was gonna happen, and
I'm glad I can still surprise you.
It's like the aliens showed up. Like, it's like War of the Worlds aliens showed up when we were doing World War II. Like, we gotta kind of knock this off, right? Like, what the fuck is that about? Like, what the fuck is,
I like to blow minds.
But,
Damn.
I think the subway scene is a little too weak for me in the sense of, I think they should have been way more aggressive towards the girl. I think they should have been I think it should have been like something almost was gonna happen. Like, they were they should have been more dicks. Like, he should have, had to shoot them off of her. And then it would have been like, oh, look at the rich people.
See that, but also, you see some guy, laughing awkwardly, a little skinny dude. It's almost easier to prey than the woman,
Yeah, but then nobody else sees it. And that's kind of my big problem with this being kind of the kickoff to the whole movement.
What do you mean nobody else sees it? Yeah, she runs off and shit, which is fine.
But it's like he doesn't save anybody.
He gets he saves himself for once.
No, but nobody.
He saves himself. The number one person.
No, but I'm thinking about how does this get sold into a movement. I think it's a way more powerful statement.
It's because
if he saves her,
these rich dicks, usually untouchable, got fucking touched. They got what they had coming to them.
Yeah, but there's no reason behind it. There's no we didn't just shoot the British redcoats because we wanted to shoot British redcoats
because they were fucking around with him. They're literally beating the shit out of him. And he's always been getting the shit kicked out of him his whole life. I've only seen it once by his those kids in the beginning. His mom always pushing him, putting him down.
We know that, but the public doesn't know that. That's the whole thing.
That doesn't. It's people's personal fucking struggles in their life that they're going.
But that doesn't cause everybody's wearing clown masks and stuff. What are you talking?
People to fucking retaliate and fucking stand up for themselves.
As far as they know,
and he went off and said, "Fuck them," and murked them fools. And he didn't. It was unintentional. Movement started from it. He didn't know who the fucking people were that he was killing. He didn't think he was gonna make a movement. It was just some rich fucks that needed a fucking lesson, and he gave it to them.
But nobody knows why. That's my big beef of it. Nobody knows why. But the
story goes off that it was just some people. I think that eventually gets found. I don't know that the story is out there because people knew that these guys were being dicks and somebody killed them over it. So I'm guessing the lady that got away probably said something to the paper or something like that. The reporter was like, "Yeah, these fucking dudes are being dicks to me, and this gal was just laughing, and they went to go be a dick to him, and I guess, like, I don't know, I ran away, but I guess he killed him. Like,
I wish we would have got more of that, because it just seems like,
that could have been something nice to put in there. You're right, you know.
Because, like, the news just kind of pitches it, like, look at the tragedy of these 3 months, and they were trying to, like...
But then you have people against it, like, you know, his girlfriend in his head is like, oh, good riddance, like, those fucking people are rich douches anyway. So I was just like, well, who said that? It had to be in the paper some way, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
know?
But he just imagined that, so maybe that's him just making up his own excuses for why he killed them.
I think I think the reason's very plain is that he was being abused, he had a gun to defend himself, and he did. Literally a point blank range.
I don't like it. It's not his logic. It's just the logic of how everybody else takes this as some raising call. I just don't buy it. There needed to be more of a black. Arthur should look like the good guy right now, and it's like, as far as we know, it's just
some call him the vigilante.
I just don't think it's deserved, though. That's my thing. I just don't think.
Why not?
I'm saying the law in his own hands. Because, like, it's not.
Because if you would have, like, went and filed a report with the police, I got jumped by these 3 rich fucking dudes, even with, like, photographic evidence or anything else that he could have maybe got, they're gonna do nothing because they're a bunch of rich fucks that, like, you know, justice won't be served to him. So he took the law into his own hands and took care of it.
I'm just saying, I think it would have helped his cause. So I think it would have been better for the movie if the woman would have been in way more dire straits and he would have shot
I'm not gonna negate that, but I think
it would have made a way better point, because it's like the clown saves me. Like, the woman could go on and be on TV, and then it's like, that puts Thomas Wayne in an awkward situation, or he can't be like, these are great guys. They aren't, because, like, obviously they try to rape this woman. It would have been, I think, a way more interesting.
If they went a little further, you're right.
And it's so dark already.
You could have went a little.
Why not? Yeah. Why not? You're like, come on. Why are we babying?
I don't think it would have oversaturated with too much darkness. So I think I've been.
Oh, come on. You're already so dark. Fuck it. It's rated R.
I can agree.
Because I think it would have been... I would have bought it a lot more of like, oh, this is why the symbol of the clown. He defended this woman, this normal average woman, was defended from these rich assholes trying to take everything from us, including our people.
Scary clown.
Yeah, but then, like, that makes him the hero. That makes him like, oh, he's represent... It's like a Robin Hood thing almost at that point.
Yeah.
Where in this movie, like, taking it as is, I'm like, I don't really buy this whole clown thing. I don't buy that your average dude is gonna be like, oh, fuck the rich from that. It just seems a little out of left pocket.
And like, for him wearing a clown, that wasn't even a thing yet. So it's just,
yeah.
I guess the story from the paper people probably got was like, oh, some clown vigilante like killed these 3
dudes.
Wall Street rich kids trying to protect this woman, and that's probably how they see it. That's how he's a vigilante. I'm guessing that's how it spun in maybe one paper, and then the other paper was like, oh, 3, well-to-do boys got murdered by some crazy freak in a clown suit. So,
yeah.
You have 2 different papers, always spin 2 different narratives of the same story.
Also, he's really good with he takes both those dudes out, like, immediately. And then the third guy, also that whole little train maneuver of, like, poking his head out and stuff. Really cool. Really fun. And he's gonna go out. Yeah.
And so he blasts that dude in the back, and it shows him dancing and all that stuff, and then it cuts to him going home up the elevator and coming barreling out the elevator down the hall to pretty neighbor ladies, and he just goes and knocks on the door, and then all of a sudden, poof! Like, she's, like, before he's even done knocking, she opens the damn door, which is strange. Like, yeah, he embraces her, kisses her, then they walk into the apartment, she shuts the door, which is, like, kinda
weird,
out there, out of nowhere, and I don't think we ever really address it again until later when we find out it's all up in his head.
But again, like, I think this is this is kind of like a really good, like, showing, like, this isn't real, like, just how ridiculous it is.
Yeah.
It's kind of such a really smart way to do it, where it's like, it's quasi, like, it's not crazy.
Because you think things are going well, but they're really not.
Yeah.
Did you just go up there and knock at the door and nothing happened? Or?
I think you just imagined it. I don't know. Yeah. But just, like, that's not kind of the way you do a fantasy if you want to do a twist thing like this, where you don't make it completely far out there. Like, you don't make it obviously fake. You make it...
Yeah, the whole, Fight Club.
Yeah.
Fight Club. So then we go. So Arthur's cleaning out his locker at work. The guys are heckling him about the gun, and he calls out Randall.
Yeah, fuck you, Randall. I like that. What was the goal? To get him fired because he's like, that idiot's
I think he was just maybe for a moment felt bad for him. Like, man, dude got beat up probably again or something.
For the fifth time this week.
He's like, man, I'm probably strapped here. I'll get my homie strapped too.
But do you like Randall or are you pro Randall? You anti Randall? How do you feel about Randall?
I like what happens to Randall.
So you don't like Randall?
I mean, maybe in the first one he gives him the gun. Okay, thank you. That's a good gesture. But then how he handles it, fuck Randall. Then he goes to literally punch out for the last time.
That was pretty good.
Punch time clock, which I thought was funny. But then he was like totally ready. The big fat ass marker as he's going down the stairs, crosses out the sign, or crosses out the forget on the don't forget to smile sign on the way out the door. Basically just showing him like he don't give a fuck no more. Kind of starting to portray his confidence and kind of his almost destructive path, if you will, or the beginning of his basically saying fuck it to society and all that shit. And then it shows him at home with his mama, watching the news, and Thomas Wayne talking about the loss of the 3 business kids, that were part of his business, Wayne Enterprises, that got killed, and talking about the guy who killed those 3 guys, how he's a coward for wearing a mask or a costume, and how dude's a bad person for ending the life of these 3 promising kids.
And there's a great line in there, like, people who haven't made it are clowns. And that's, like, the only way I could see this becoming a movement, but it was already kind of becoming a movement before then, so, like...
Well, this is where it just first begins, because that's where we see it. We see it here soon, he's taking a trip about the vigilante and all that stuff, so people are talking about it. It's going to get that conversation going right now.
Like, at this point, like, other than Arthur doing it, it's like Thomas Wayne, well, if you aren't a part of you're a clown.
Yeah.
So, like, this is the only part of it where I'm like, this is where
we're the only ones that matter, the elite, who are doing these elite things. All the rest of you are just nothing clowns.
Yeah, and this is where I'm like, this is where
that's probably what helps, like, another fuel to the fire for the people who are like, excuse me, sir? Like, what'd you call me?
Yeah, and that's like, but again, like, Arthur, and like, I see where you're like, oh, Arthur didn't cause anything, but like, you have your cake and eat it too, though, where you can't be like, well, Arthur's this genius mastermind who, like...
I'm not saying he is a genius mastermind that did anything. I'm just making fun of, like, how you, like, putting that on there. He just did what Arthur needed to do for himself, and the dominoes fell in his favor, creating this whole movement. Right place, right time, doing the right things when they need to be done. I wouldn't say a victim of circumstance, he is a hero of circumstance.
Hero's a strong word.
He's my hero. To a certain extent.
He's not mine. He's a gutter troll, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, we'll agree to disagree.
Yeah, we're not going to agree on this one.
Throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
Now he's back at the shrink's office, reveals his clown name as Carnival. Did you catch that?
No, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, he's like, I heard this song the other day, and it reminded, something Carnival, and like, that was my original clown name. I'm like, he just, hey, Carnival, come here. I don't know. Carnival the clown. I guess it kind of has a nice flow to it. He gets defensive and frustrated that the shrink never listens to him.
Which we've all had, like, somebody like that, where you have to, like, talk to them.
I walked out
totally
on a shrink or psychologist once that was just, like, never stopped talking about himself and everything and never listened to me, so I just got up and walked out mid-sentence.
You can have a bad counselor or psychologist.
Yes.
Another fun line. A line that makes... Fuck, I almost call him Wilford. One line that makes Arthur sound like a little bitch is, it's like I never existed. It's like, you always existed. That was always an option. You could always have done something to impact someone's life, but you decided to take 3 men's lives. So, like, that's a shitty way to start.
Maybe you couldn't. What do you mean? What could have he done?
Anything
He's so
else.
socially awkward, he can't barely communicate with anybody else. He's all drugged up on different drugs, so he probably can't think straight. He's had his whole abusive life, and his mom all crazy that he's got to go give her the rub-a-dubs in the tub every night to make sure she's all good and clean to go. Like, it's all fuck. He ain't got much to work with, dog.
He could find...
What do you want him to do?
Just anything else other than killing people. That should be like dead.
He didn't want to kill nobody. He wanted to mind his own business. They came up on him, and he defended himself, and them bitches got what they deserved. I don't know what you hating on. What? Huh? I don't know. Here's chuckles. Yeah, you ain't got nothing. That's right.
I'm just saying, I think that's some bullshit to jump to that. You always existed.
He ain't bullshitting jumping to nothing.
What about your friends,
It's not like he went and plotted out these murders. He was just sitting there chilling on his way home from a bad day because he got fired.
But the act
for having that damn gun that ended up saving his ass and killing their asses.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know, it's just kind of some bullshit. Like, I've never thought I existed.
Speak up. I can't hear you.
Like, it's like, I never existed. Like, I just think it's just, like, such a bullshit way to look at life. I don't know.
Well, he does. Sometimes I feel like that way. It's just like, he haven't made, like, very much of an impact around anybody. I mean, at least I feel like I have my local little stuff, but I don't know. For him, he only has his mama he's with and his imaginary girlfriend in his head.
And Gary.
And Gary.
Gary's great. Well, yeah, but he could find some weird little girlfriend, you know? Like a weird little lady who he can hang out with. And
this ain't Fight Club. Not everybody finds their... Marla Singer.
Did he try, though?
He went to comedy club. He was out there
he was working on the art. He wasn't working on the art of punani. He could go to speed dating. He could. Well,
back then they didn't have the internet to help, like, talk him through. He couldn't watch, like, videos about, like, Giga Chad sitting there how to get women. He had to just do it on his own.
I wonder what I would love to see the notes for Arthur pickup game.
That would be pretty,
that'd be awesome.
Probably very cringeworthy.
He gets turned on, like, instead of, you know how he does the weird laugh for the non-jokes, he gets turned on by the non... So, like, for pickup lines for him, it's just normal conversation, like, he's flipped.
Well, I don't think anybody's gonna try to pick him up, is he?
Yeah, but I'm just... The idea
well, except for that one crazy chick in his head.
Yeah. That should be your last option for changing the world. Should be killing. That should be dead last on the list. That should... There's like a 900...
I don't think... It wasn't even on... He didn't have a list. That's what I don't... Like, he's just a victim of circumstance. His whole lore was built off of something he just did.
But he enjoys it, though. He enjoys it, though. He's like, oh...
yeah, like, I did something like, they don't hate me for it? They love me for it? Oh, shit. Or not like, you know,
I don't really buy them women. You know, we talk about that, but like, I don't really buy it.
So he gets defensive, frustrated. The shrink never listens to him, and he wants her to just understand that he never saw himself that he even existed. But now he thinks he does exist. Then she just drops the whole bomb, like, the program's losing funding and services are being cut to him. He's not sure what to do. How is he going to get his meds now? And who's he going to talk to? And she's just like, I'm sorry, Arthur. And I just don't understand how she can't send him, like, give him some forwarding info, or like, here's like the city level is getting defunded, maybe the state level, but I guess they're a state hospital. I just feel like there's like some other resources that she could have, like, hey, try this out, or, you know, go over here to the next state and try there, because health system in this universe is just as bad as the Americas.
It's, I think she's not a bad person. I think
she's just fucked with what she has to deal with.
Yeah. But, you know, when Arthur, you know, goes on and be like, oh, everybody...
But she had to care about every individual that walked through her door. She would be fucking just like a fugue state in her apartment, just like...
worrying about Arthur. She'll be like, I hope Arthur's doing well.
Or every other fucking patient she has. I'm sure he's not even the craziest one of all of them. Like, I'm sure there's much
Scarecrow.
worse.
You ever talk to John Scarecrow?
Yeah. Like, he's probably just like a little older than Bruce right now, but he's a troubled child somewhere around there.
Yeah, Bane, like, he only speaks in Spanish and just keeps breaking shit.
Is Bane Spanish in the original one?
Well, yeah.
I thought he was...
Yeah,
in the cartoon.
Yeah, in the cartoon, I think he's Spanish.
I thought he was black dude. Or brown dude.
Yeah, Spanish, Mexican.
No, like...
He's...
mixed, like African American.
No, he's totally Spanish.
No, I'm Bane. I don't know what accent you're going for, but that was more... seemed a little more Italian or something.
But I just like the idea of a little Bane, like he's in the suit somehow, and he just
a little Jack Trucky boy or something like that.
And he just keeps breaking shit and yelling in Spanish.
He's got some, like, asthma mask on. He's
got asthma. What are you going to do?
As a little chunky kid, he's sitting there like, like before he gets in a fight on the playground. He just takes a puff from his inhaler. That'd be a great pre-story to Bane. We should get that one next.
It's like the Harley Quinn prequel.
Yeah, or like the Joker prequel, like this.
Oh.
Which it is, because it's totally the Rogue One to 89. What's up?
You're going to have to go more in depth on that.
Yeah, we should find that out. Maybe we can do that for like an after Patreon thing or something. We can go in depth on that. Something. We'll figure that out.
Yeah. He also says, all I have is negative thoughts. At some point during that little... Are you going to talk about that? Or?
No, I missed that. So, yeah,
the interview was like, all I have is negative thoughts. And it's just like, I'm going to be real. We have a lot of family trauma.
Yeah,
we've gone through quite our dire straits. Mm-hmm. But to say that we've had 0 positive thoughts or good times, that's some fucking...
I mean, I can see in a despotic state. Like, 'cause I've been in those too. Like, just, I'm down. I'm like, I have nothing but anger and...
Well, I think we've all been there. We've all visited.
I don't sit there all day, every day, just, I hate this, I breathe, like, just hate. I am like that a lot. But it's not like all day. That's why I do a lot of stuff I love, like watch Star Trek and talk about movies with you and stuff. You know, that I really
play video
games, cook food. You know, so.
But come on, you can see how this is not appealing to me. Where you're like, come on,
you've been there too. We're just like everything sucks.
Yeah, but
we've all been there.
I just you got 2 hours to sell me on this guy, and you're spending some of that time.
Who's nitpicky now? Like, you're nitpicking.
No,
you're
I am.
Scraping the
What do you know? Like,
point.
no.
I ain't giving to that point.
No, I don't need your point. Keep your point. I'll take another.
I'll take my scoreboard right here.
Yeah.
This says I'm winning.
Yeah, I'll take my point. I'll take that off the score of this fucking movie, man. I'm fucking.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'm just saying, it's just not like, oh, yeah, whoopsie fucking do, man.
For fuck's sake. So, we skip to him. He's now going on stage at that stand-up bar that he was, like, studying at, like, watching other acts.
Also, the guy before him is really funny.
I didn't hear what the dude was saying, so as soon as he typing away.
Sex is like a parking lot, or parking, where it's like if you drive into a handicap spot, you want no one to see you. Because it's like, you're doing a handicap person.
Oh, that's just terrible.
No, it's funny, though. It's really good.
No, terrible. I didn't laugh at that. I was just laughing at that I'm stupid. It took me a minute.
Another part, like, in buying a car is like, you with, like, your sexual partner, like, you want it to be reliable and get you to where you need to go.
That's what he was talking about? Okay.
Yeah, he was great. He was really funny. I was like, this guy's Arthur, you need to learn from this man.
He probably already did take notes. He gets introduced, goes on stage, he sees his pretty neighbor from down the hall sitting in this crowd, gets on mic, and it starts his uncontrollable laughter again, and it's like the most cringe laughter possible. Yeah. Like, this is the cringiest this has gotten so far, and it was just, it made me feel some type of way watching it.
We should feel stupid for figuring out that she wasn't actually in that crowd after this performance.
Well, she's all sitting in the back. Whatever. But I mean, how are we supposed to know? It's the whole, again, Fight Club.
I know, but it's just funny, though, that...
We didn't know until we know now.
Also, this movie gets bored with the stand-up because it plays, like, a song halfway through his stand-up.
Yeah.
So, like, even the movie got bored.
Well, it's just like the whole thing of you're doing, like, any stand-up or, like, karaoke. You're not doing so hot, they just play some music until you get the hell off stage.
It's just funny, though. It's just funny.
He stammers over and stumbles through and laughs through like one of his first jokes. He gets one joke out and it is not funny. But the neighbor lady, you know, he's cussing her like over there smiling and kind of giggles at it. And then, you know, the music sounds over all the rest of his jokes while he's talking, but shows the people laughing at his next jokes. Well, we can't hear it though because the music's playing over it. And then it shows them like walking out venue with his neighbor lady, like they're on a date. And they walk up to this newspaper stand, they see headlines on the newspaper and it's like clown vigilante. And the neighbor girl thinks it's like a good thing that the clown took out 3 losers and shit. But I'm like, why does she think they're losers? That they're bad people? I just can't get it. Like
again, that's my whole argument, yeah.
Yeah, was it the lady who was going to get mugged by those guys or, you know, was getting accosted by them in the beginning? Did she say something to the paper? Or just the different spin on 2 different newspapers?
Again, that's a huge point for me where I'm like, that would really help sell this whole
It does kind of irk me. Unless there's something we're totally missing, please feel free to fill us in and let us know.
They should have just been more bad. They should have grabbed her by the neck and like, I think he should have shot them off of her and then she runs off and he's like, they were going to take, and it's like, she's just some
they were doing something to her and then he goes up and like tries to, you know, maybe physically do something. They beat the hell out of him and then he shoots him.
Yeah, something like that.
And the blood sprays on her face while she's like, oh, you saved me, but still gets
I think
collateral damage of the blood.
It would have been even stronger if she would have been like a ticket taker, going throughout just to work in Joe.
Well, nobody does that on those trains back then.
No, you can come up with whatever. I don't. You just give her a job.
Like her sitting there just doing her own thing, and them dudes fucking with her, and then it would have been nice, not nice, but it would have been more effective of a scene, a visual if they were like sitting there, start physically getting on her, maybe groping her a little bit, just doing some very vile things like that, to where he threw himself on them to try to break it up, and then they beat the hell out of him, and he shoots him.
Yeah, and then he's the hero. And then,
I get it. I see. Okay. I get you. So, yeah, that one goes down, but then it cuts to him back at home again, and he's home, and Murray on the TV, and Mama's passed out in the chair. He wakes her up and starts dancing with her, like, right away. Like, she's barely even conscious to what the hell's going on, barely on her feet, and she's, like, dancing with her. I was just irritated for her, Mama. I was like, get the fuck off me. Like, what the fuck? Just wake me up and tell me to go to bed, you fucking weirdo. Like, fuck.
Get off me, dude.
But she's all like, thought it was kind of cute for a second, and eventually she just wanders off into the bed.
And also Arthur just being just a fucking dick. I had a big date tonight. No, you didn't, weirdo. You imagine that shit, like being a dick to your mom.
Well,
like,
he did go to the comedy show, and he did the comedy, you know. He did the show, but he didn't have the date afterwards.
Yeah, so it's just like, again, another point of him just being an asshole for no reason. I wish his mom would have been like, you didn't have a date tonight. She would have been right. Yeah. She would have been right. Like, get the fuck out of here.
But then She's like, oh, and then that's nice, but they're like, hey, I wrote another letter to Thomas Wayne if you just, like, drop that off in the mail. And he's like, oh, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then she wanders off to bed, but he sees that letter on the table, and he's just like, decides to open it and read it. He sees that she's asking Thomas Wayne for help for her and her son, or her and their son, Arthur. So now he knows that, like, you know, in his mom's eyes, that Thomas Wayne's his daddy, and like he's the illegitimate son, making him, dun dun dun, Batman's brother. But I guess she could never admit it before because, like, she signed papers, and who would believe her, you know, after all that? Because, like, he confronts her the next day, and she's like, oh, don't read that shit. I could never admit it anyway, because, you know, it's Thomas Wayne, and nobody would believe me, and it's pretty much, they leave it at that on that scene, but, you know, he calls her out, and she has that excuse of why, like, he never told her, or she never told him. Who knows, he doesn't know at this point, like, is it...
So what do you think? Do you think he's Brucey's brother, or...
I like to think it's Bruce's brother, but this whole doing insane thing was just to cover up from a super rich fucking guy. Keep that from coming up later, which is could easily be forged in all the documents. But she does seem pretty nutty.
Yeah, and that's what I went back and forth. It was like a Pokemon.
But
ball.
she could have went nutty from being like fucked over that hard about the whole thing. But you think she'd just kind of get over it and just be like, oh well, I don't know. I don't think make you lose your mind. I can see like angry and resentful forever, but not like totally nutty and dependent on her son. So
I don't think they're brothers because I think she's nuts.
I think she's probably nuts.
And
if I had to choose, I'm like, she's nuts.
But it's like, what do you call it? I think they just because like it's all it's hereditary. Like a lot of mental illness is hereditary. So if he's nuts, she's probably nuts. But it's a fun idea, and I do like...
and like it makes you think for a minute, and like we're kind of sitting here pondering the thought throughout the rest of the scene until we get to the paper boy, you know, holding all the official papers.
Yeah, it's funny. I love it. I love that actor. He's great.
Yeah, no, he just... I was honestly looking at him while he was acting it, just... The way his voice was, his like the eyes, everything, his body movements and shit. I thought he did an excellent job. Yeah. Just that just a few lines he had really sold me on like he was protecting his job or whatever. And he just kind of realized like, oh shit, I shouldn't be. It sold me at least for that. Even little side character, that acting was I thought superb.
And I love the like little shuffle he does. Where he's like, I had to go all the way down.
Just everything brings to the table. Yeah,
he's perfect.
He has like presence even for that little fucking scene that like a few lines he was in. I thought he was great.
And there's that little part with him where he's like, Arthur's like, oh, I did something crazy the other day. And he's like,
he's looking at, like the way he's like analyzing it all down, like it just makes you feel the energy in that whole scene. Yeah.
And it's just like, you always gotta watch out with the crazy motherfucker. Like, Paperboy gets you, like, this guy.
You giving me some wrong vibes here, homie. Hey, I don't know about you, dude, but, and then you're like, the mother was all, whatever, psycho. We'll go through it. Hang on. Yeah. We'll get there in just a second.
I gotta throw the Paperboy stuff out since we're talking about it.
Yeah, no, I was right there with you. So she's done admitting about the letter to him, and like she couldn't say anything because she signed papers, nobody believed her. So it goes to him on the train. And like when he's walking on the train, every paper that everybody's looking at, like in the car, is about the vigilante or kill the rich and stuff like that. The headlines on the papers. So the movement he didn't mean to start. It started, steamroll. What I wanted to say is starting to catch steam. And he was on the train heading to Wayne Manor. And so he shows up outside the wall of Wayne Manor and he sees a little boy walking around the yard. He goes up to the gate wearing a clown nose and he's got a wand. He's doing this little magic bit for the boy. And he asks the boy his name and the boy responds, Bruce. And he says, hi, I'm Arthur. And begins to touch his face and contort his mouth into a smile. I just thought that was the most fucked up, awkward, strange thing. Like, I don't care how old you are, you don't let anybody come up and touch your face, especially strangers. Like, who the fuck is teaching this kid?
I got some things to say about this scene.
Please.
First off, very big It vibes. When he shows up and he, like, goes down.
Yeah, right? I did kind of feel that.
Hey, Brucey, you want to come over here? You want to come down? We all float down here, Brucey.
Yeah.
Me and Killer Croc.
That's great. Nope. I'll feel you right there, 100% with you.
And then also Bruce, in this interpretation, he's a porcelain doll. He's a little porcelain doll. He doesn't have no emotion in any scene he's in. Like when his parents get got, spoiler alert, it shouldn't be a spoiler if you've seen any fucking Batman movie. Like he doesn't react at all. Like the boy
doesn't really react in the original '89. He just kind of sitting there like, Stuns
something.
Pale face.
That's something. Like, this Bruce does nothing.
Well, they gotta adapt it for this new audience, which we're all traumatized. Like, we're all desensitized by violence and shit on TV. So
I think seeing your parents get blown to death or shot to death.
When you're a kid, you don't even know how to process that.
Even when it gets like covered in blood, I think like something, just anything. Like, oh no, that's terrible. Like, I would have even gone for that. Like, he's just a little porcelain doll of a human being when they just drag around to be Bruce Wayne in this movie.
It's not about Bruce. It's about the Joker, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Bruce got his own movie. He's got plenty of his own movies.
He's got 8 movies, man.
Yeah, he good. He don't need no more. This is Joker still.
But, yeah, porcelain doll. Also, like, I just imagine this is how it would go in real life. Like, hey, what's up, little bro? Hey, is it cool if I stick my fingers in your mouth?
It's just like...
Weird, man.
I mean, that kid was 8 years old, maybe, or something like that. When I was there, I'd be like, who the fuck are you? Get the fuck away from me. Like, what the fuck? Like, I would not be letting nobody stick their fingers in my mouth to produce a smile. Like, that's just... Ugh.
Weird. It's so funny, like, at one point when Alfred finally shows up, and I like this Alfred for the little part we have of him. Like, he seems
he's
very,
alright, yeah.
He's very sassy, and I like him being a little more, like, physical.
Hefty,
yeah. But anyhow, he, like... And this is like me whenever someone accuses me of something, and I just thought it was so funny. Like, I'm a good guy. I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
He says something like that.
But he's like doing it all. His like arms are on the poles.
so
He's like dangling his arms up high. Yeah, I'm a good guy. I don't do anything. Like, you look like you're fucking twacked out on meth right now, dog. Like, what the fuck?
It's just a funny line. I just like that line a lot. It just feels like something I would say. I'm a good dude. I didn't do
I'm a
anything.
good dude. After I just shoved my fingers in that little boy's mouth and made him smile. Like, no, fuck that.
And then there's this really great line. It's like, I know about them. And then Alfred's like, there was no them. Like, he whispers back at him, and I was like, that's so funny. And then, like, talk about traumatizing to your little brother of, like, choking out Alfred.
Oh, yeah,
you're
potentially to your little brother. Yeah,
like, your funkle, essentially, if you're Bruce Wayne, just getting choked out by potentially your brother here. Like, even if you were, like, because he believes that at that point. Like, Thomas Wayne is his dad.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're just scarring your little brother, dude. Like, even if, like, if you believe this is true,
I mean, to him, he's been so scarred and fucked up throughout his whole life. It's like, that's an everyday, that's a Tuesday for him. So, like, he's probably like, buck up, little brother, you'll be alright. Look at me, how good I'm doing.
Look how great I'm doing. And then I had another question too, because because by the time he's done choking him out, he knows who this dude is, like your Penny Flex kid or whatever.
Yeah, he says the brother's like, your son, or he comes up to stop Arthur, and then Arthur tells him he wants to speak with Thomas and that his mother is Penny Fleck. And the brother's like, oh, you're her son? And Arthur says he knows about Penny and Mr. Wayne. Basically, Alfred gaslights, potentially, like, it seems like he's gaslighting him into, like, thinking his mom was just crazy and all that shit, and that there is, like, that she was delusional and that there is no relationship between her and, like, Penny and Mr. Wayne or anything at all. But it could not be gaslighting. He was just informing him, no, your mom's fucking nuts. And now I'm seeing you, the product of that nuts thing. Like, you're adopted, motherfucker. He's like, oh, blah.
But my thing with that is, why don't they arrest him for assaulting Alfred?
Especially if they have the name and everything, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you have the name, there's a witness, and the only thing, because I thought about this a lot, because because the cops investigate him, but not for that. They're investigating the subway shooting.
Yeah.
So, because that happens, the investigation starts after.
Maybe Thomas doesn't want them digging around because it's real.
Exactly. That's why.
So it is real. And he was gaslighting them.
But he is running a mayoral campaign, and he doesn't want any of this getting dug out because she could just be a crazy person.
Well, he's such a huge billionaire. I feel like he could have shut it down even if it started getting scratched up to the surface, but...
It's a campaign.
You start having waxing all the reporters and shit like that, and that would start, like,
it's a whole shit.
It'd be like the whole Hillary campaign where like just people ended up dead all the time,
So it's just like you gotta.
Which allegedly, I don't know.
Allegedly, yeah. Allegedly, don't come for us.
Yeah, don't come for us. I just saw some things on Reddit. I don't know. It's like
I just live my happy life.
Yeah, I was just like, let them do whatever as long as they can play video games. I'm cool. Whatever.
Yeah. You do your cabal.
I just want to be able to cook. That's it.
But you can't even control the. Like, that story goes out, it might just ruin you, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so totally. It could ruin him or cause a whole lot of, hurdles in his campaign and, all kinds of
And he's going to be probably invested in, like, a ton of money in this campaign, a ton of time.
But, I mean, it's just, it came in for one city. It's not like going for the presidential thing.
Well, it's Gotham, though, New York City.
I guess.
That's like 12 million people.
Yeah, but he's like a super rich billionaire. Like,
yeah, but those dudes care about that shit.
Chump
yeah, and it's not about the chump change. It's about, like, the prestige. See what I did there?
You're right. Oh, you did. I see it. You double up. Okay. Good point. Why didn't they call the police? Because he does, when he confronts Thomas in the bathroom. When he confronts Thomas in the bathroom, he's like, "Oh, you're the,
what's up, Dad?
Don't you ever fucking talk to my son again?" So he knew it was him at the, at his house.
So that was always like, why is he not admitted to that?
Why didn't he call the police? You right. Yep, but I'm thinking maybe it's covered up. Keep that shit under wraps. After he chokes out Alfred, he runs off and he gets home. And as he's coming home, his mother is going to take it on a stretcher to an ambulance. So he gets in and rides with her. While she's in the hospital, he's out smoking, and some detectives come up and say they've been looking for him. And they talked to his mother earlier, and that questioning is basically what triggered his mother to have, like, some episodic fit to where she needed to get hauled off to the emergency room. We don't ever get, like, specifically why she was in the emergency room.
She had a stroke.
She had a stroke?
Yeah.
I must have missed that one. Okay, so, yeah, that just triggered her off to where she's stressed out enough to have a stroke.
But I think what I kind of, like, took offense to is he's like, oh, you're questioning, like, he got really stuck on that. Like, your questioning is what caused her to freak out. And I'm like, dude, you were doing that yesterday. Like, she was freaking out from your questioning about Thomas Wayne. Like, she's
locking herself in the bathroom, but then when the police is coming, that's gonna
still
push
though,
her
like that.
She's gonna be all afraid, my boy, and everything else has happened, and she's just it's gonna confound her sensitive little existence.
Yeah, but like he got her 90% of the way there yesterday, and then these guys just show up doing their job. I do like these cops, by the way. The actors are great. I like these two.
I do kind of like them. I just kind of look like I don't know, Tweedledee and Tweedledum kind of, but also on it.
They're pretty cool though. Yeah, I like them. I like these guys. But yeah, I was just like, come on, dude, you were doing the same shit to her yesterday. He
learned to stop and walk away so it didn't trip off Mama. And again, it wasn't. It was just him.
Yeah,
her son, not these police officer, fucking people of the law coming in and questioning things, which probably set her over the edge a lot more intensely than just her kid questioning, because she can just avoid the kid like always, like she has been, but like, police probably up in her business and pushing until she had to have a fucking breakdown stroke to where she got out.
Man, we don't know though.
We don't know how exactly it went, but that's how I like to imagine, at least my head
also canon. Unintentional funny moment number 2 of the film is Arthur trying to get back in the hospital and it's just like it's one of those things where you're like so devoted already to this one thing, you're like, fuck you, I'm not. I know you're right, but I don't want
to. So either way, they were wanting to question him about the subway killings too, not just about like. So the question is mom, that's what triggered, but then they're asking about the subway killings, and they ask him why he got fired and if his laughing sickness was real, and he was just like, what do you think? And throws away the, cigarette out the laughing sickness thing, and then walks into the door.
Is that a clown thing?
What?
No, that's what he said. Is that a clown? Like the cops, like, is that a clown thing?
Oh, is that a clown thing?
I just like how offensive he took to that, like a clown thing.
Yeah.
And another line I thought was good from that whole little sequence was I wasn't funny enough. Could you believe that?
Yeah.
No way he got fired. I thought that was really good.
Just like, why'd you get fired? Because I wasn't funny enough. Can you believe that? Like,
that seems like some SVU shit.
Especially like a super simple thing, like just kind of a good broad answer that you can't deny, anyway.
I was like, have you seen my stand-up?
Yeah. So it shows him back up in the hospital room with his mother. Pretty neighbor girl's with him. Sus, because it seems like she's there on a deep kind of supportive level when we don't really know. Which we know she ain't real. But at the time, we're just like...
Yeah, they got me. They got me with
they really hit it off in these scenes that we're not seeing them together, so that's cool. So, that's something to take note of. Like, she's there in support, supporting him and all that stuff. It goes to a little later, and he's watching Murray again. Murray show in the hospital with his mom. And his mom's, passed out over there in the bed. And it shows Murray showing a clip of Arthur while he's in the comedy club doing his jokes and basically just making fun of his act and how bad it was and just really dogging on him, and it's kind of eek.
It's really funny. I think this is one of the few funny, actual, genuine, supposed to be funny moments where it's no one's laughing now.
I don't think it's supposed to be funny. I think it's supposed to be eek.
Well, to him, but
Yeah.
like to me, I'm like, I thought it was great. Where it's like, no one's laughing now, he says, and then it cuts to Murray. He's like, yeah, no one is laughing. And I'm like, yeah, that's good. That's actually funny.
And you can see this. He was very enthused when he first saw himself on the TV, and then it turned to not enthused whatsoever by the end of the scene.
This scene, this whole Murray thing, I think does deserve like a Delva Farber situation if Murray is an actual dick or not. And
I think he was just doing his show like the way it is. I'm sure the Conan would do something very similar.
Well, I thought if Tosh
Conan would have like a heart. But yeah, Tosh is
but
going into it, it's just a joke.
Yeah, but like before that time, like Johnny Carson and shit, that was all there was, right? Yeah. Like there was no Tosh by nowhere.
Yeah, you're right.
But I'm like, to me, this whole thing about like the cringe and stuff. To me, it was like a web redemption. Like, you make a cringy video on the internet, and then you go on Tosh.
Well, they bring him for the web redemption.
Yeah. This is the web redemption. Yeah. Like, that was the internet, like, in a pre-internet age.
Because, like, Tosh will make fun of the video first, and then they'll bring him in for web redemption.
Yeah, and it's like, in that sense, like, if you're, like what do you call it, Krispy Kreme, the little rapper guy, who did, like, I'm as bad as Beyonce, and he's just, like, 2'2". He's really good. He's a funny guy.
You're going to have to light me to that later.
Yeah, but anyhow, like, Krispy Kreme is going to be who I use, who could promote his music on Tosh.0. It's a win. It's the biggest win you could get if you're fucking Krispy Kreme. You know what I mean? So, like, Murray giving him a shot like this is, like, for Arthur, should be like the fucking godsend. This should be the biggest. This is the
bad
greatest
publicity
thing.
is still good publicity, you know. Even
Yeah,
if like they're making fun of it,
and it's like
still made enough to like.
You're on the biggest.
It's so bad, it's good.
Yeah, and it's like you're on the biggest show potentially in the country because it's like back then, like late night was the thing, you know.
There's
so
like the two main heads, I guess. I'm pretty sure. Like I don't know the two shows, but yeah, you said Johnny Carson and somebody else. I'm sure. But.
Yeah, Carson, Iowa boy, by the way, represent. But yeah, no. So it's just like it should not be looked at as bad, even if he's making fun of you, especially later on when he invites him on. But this should be looked at as an absolute win if you're Arthur, and I just think he takes it. He doesn't embrace the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of does. We'll show him capitalizing on in a second.
Yeah, but not in the way he should.
And then, so it goes to him at home, watching the news. I guess his mom's still in the hospital. People are going off on the TV in support of the subway killing, saying fuck the rich and all kinds of stuff, and that's just kind of fueling his ego from what he has done in the aftermath of it. And it shows just crowds of people against the rich. So he's watching the news and all those people, and then all of a sudden he's like, shows him walking through the crowds of people that are all against the rich and rioting for all the shit that's going on. And he's just loving what his actions have created. And then he slips like to some back door somewhere and gets dressed up in like this bellhop's outfit to sneak into the theater with a bunch of rich people in tuxedos. Basically like he was looking for Thomas Wayne in that theater. I don't know how he knew he was going to be there, but apparently he just did. That really gets explained how he knew he was going to be there, but confronts Thomas in the bathroom.
But before that cop jumps into the crowd. Like in the beat, and that's what causes because that's what causes the distraction for him to get in. Is the cop jumping over the fence to like fight the Joker protesters, and I'm like, what a stupid. Because that's the distraction he uses to slip in.
No, that's you're thinking about a later scene. So
that's the bell cop. That's just like some random. It's not like one of the two main guys. It's just some random cop jumps over the and I'm like, this guy's stupid because like he's about to get his ass kicked. That's what causes Joker to be able to slip in on through the side.
I'm pretty sure it's later. I just thought there was a bunch of shit going on.
Because there is there's cops getting jumped away, but I'm not even talking about the two main
cops.
I'm talking about
and then I'm like, so what? He's going through the crowd, and people get engaged. It's like some random cop.
And when the cop jumps over the little protector thing to fight these guys. And I'm like, he's not a big dude.
I totally missed that then.
Yeah, I'm like, this dude's going to get his ass kicked. So, he's not a big guy. And all the other cops are going to have to go chase that cop to, go help him so he doesn't get fucking eaten alive out there. It just seems like a very bad strategic move.
Do you see what happens to him?
No, well, it cuts away, and that's how Arthur gets in. It's like a big distraction.
He's probably all fucked up now, yeah, for sure. And so, looking for Thomas Wayne, he sees him go into the bathroom, and then he follows him there to confront him while he's pissing, and tells him, hey, Penny Fleck is my mom. And Thomas tells him he's not his father. He's like, I'm not your father. Which is, immediately like, oh, so you know Penny Fleck, and you know the whole story behind it, because you're immediately like, I'm not your father.
Well, I heard about it yesterday from Alfred. And,
so I guess it's kind of fresh there, you're right. And then he tells him that Penny adopted him, and that she had some kind of breakdown, and was committed to, the insane asylum, and she made the whole thing up about her and Bruce, and Arthur just totally rejects all that, and he's just like, why don't you just fucking show me some love and compassion? That's all I want from you, Dad.
Dude, saying dad. Like, I think Thomas Wayne's in the right here. I think Thomas Wayne.
Well, in this whole situation, I'd probably done the same thing. Like, who the fuck? What the fuck? Not the time, place.
And you touched my son.
Yeah, and you were creeping around my crib, putting your fingers in my boy's mouth.
Also, I love that actor. He's like the dad from October Sky, like the miner dude. Have you ever seen that movie?
Yeah.
Great.
I've seen October Sky before you were born.
Great actor, though. I like that.
Oh, he's incredible.
Also,
it is him.
Yeah.
That's where I recognize his face from.
Yeah, he's in all sorts. He's also in The Patriot. He's one of the generals in The Patriot.
Yep, I know him from that.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. I love that guy. But also, I love like Thomas Wayne not being a goody two shoes in this. Like, it's a fun. Because usually you just see the Waynes as
you try to stay like diplomatic, but you're in the bathroom, ain't nobody looking, so it's like he's just gonna handle it.
Yeah, but it's just cool though because it's like you just always see them as like
he's not some rich like dandy. He's a tough man. Like, I'll crack you in the jaw. Back the fuck up. Crack your face. Thomas just like jacks Arthur in the face and threatens to kill him if he ever touches his son again, which is like fair play right there. I would have said the same damn thing. He wouldn't even made it out like down the street. I'd have my goons after him already. Who touched him? He did what? He put his fingers in your mouth to make it smile? Hey, Alfred, go send the boys.
Again, Alfred's scary.
Yeah, Alfred should have waxed him. You see Alfred in that one rendition of Batman, don't he got a shotgun?
Yeah.
Yeah, he should have went and got a shotgun and started just blasting on fools, okay? Or blasting him down the street.
Also, Joker has this line in that whole little sequence, like, everyone's so rude. And I'm like, that's rich coming from the guy who killed 3 dudes the other day.
Or coming up and confronting me while I'm pissing right now. Yeah. Pretty rude.
Yeah, dude. He's just such a little whiny
This is a restroom, not a interrogated room, okay? Unless it's, again, in Fight Club, where they interrogate that one dude. Or not interrogate, they threaten that guy, I guess. Anyway.
But it's just like, everyone's so rude. I'm like, you killed 3 people the other day. Like,
well, if they weren't being so fucking rude, he wouldn't have had to.
I get it, but like, it just I don't buy it.
Buy what? If they weren't being so fucking rude, he wouldn't have had to. I think you're trying to mammy-pammy him up more than he's mammy-pammy.
I think, he got his ass kicked by a bunch of
and he executed them fools with straight prejudice. And it was
he didn't execute those guys. Those guys got away. They got the sign. They broke the sign.
Oh, okay, those original children.
Yeah, those original.
Well, you can go like the movie off him murking a bunch of children.
I would have loved that. That would have been awesome.
That would have really set the precedent for the whole. Yeah. It would have been a lot darker of a film.
Can you imagine if it was like
people would have been really tripping about the controversy of the violence.
Oh yeah, it would like it's like Heath Ledger's Joker, and he has a crowbar, and you just fucking just takes him out.
Yeah, we'll get.
You think you're stealing my sign?
Yeah, this is definitely pre-Joker, because post-Joker would be like laughing hysterically then it cuts to later, the kids are dangling by their feet over vat of acid or some shit. So, after he confronts Daddy and gets his ass kicked.
Or maybe he's not dead.
Or maybe not Daddy.
Maybe Dad. After
he gets his ass slapped by Daddy, or maybe Daddy, he
climbs in a fridge.
Goes home, it shows him at home, and he's there. And the answer machine is picking up a call from the detectives. And for those of you who may not know, an answer machine was the old school voicemail back when there were just landline. And you had to leave messages on these big boxes that your phone was connected to so you could, know who called you and who you might have missed while you're out in the world before you get contacted everywhere you were. So for you youngins out there.
It's like a geolocated voicemail. And you could only reach.
Yes, I'm old enough to know how to use one, have heard one, even how to set some. It's fun.
Never had to do it.
Yep.
Never had to do it.
Youngins, y'all don't even know.
We have voicemails.
And so that's it. The old fart fact number 2 of the day. He's hearing answer machine's picking up a call from the detectives. And like his super skinny ass sitting there like while the answer machine's going on, or the answer machine, you hear the message being recorded on the machine, while he's ripping through the damn fridge with his skinny ass with no shirt on, just showing all of his ribs and everything. It's like he's damn near a skeleton. He could be an anatomy chart almost. And instead of eating anything out of the damn fridge, he just tosses everything on the ground, racks and all, and proceeds to get into the fridge.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what happens. And
it goes weird, though. It's weird, though.
What?
Him getting in the fridge.
Yeah, it is weird. Okay, I thought you were like, it's weird, though. Hey, continue. But no,
it's weird. There's nothing else.
Just weird. Stop right there. That's no more to say about that one. Yeah. Just weird.
I don't know what to do with this information. You would think you'd be cold in there. He only weighs 10 pounds.
he got no meat on the bones. You know, he's gonna go into
He's gonna get a cold or something.
Hypothermia real quick or something.
Also, is this like what he wanted to do? Like, mom's out of the house? You know, like could always do now?
I always wanted to get in the fridge, and mom would always yell at me, but now I get to.
Yeah. Take that, woman.
I'm like, is he gonna run out of air, I think, eventually? Or is there a little vent in the back, maybe? I don't know.
think he's gonna fall asleep in there. He's fucking freezing nuts.
Well, we know he gets out, because it goes to later, when the phone's ringing, and the answering machine starts picking up a lady from the Maury Franklin show, and he comes out of nowhere, picks it up, and he's being invited to appear on the Murray show. He kind of has a face where he's a little suspect, but excited to, so cuts to him, to the Arkham
State Asylum, I think.
Yeah, Arkham State Asylum, and he's trying to go to the record office to get info from Paperboy.
He's got to get the papers from Paperboy.
Yeah, get the papers from Paperboy. And Arthur acting all weird. Paperboy suggests that he gets some help to some of the city services that they have available, and Arthur's like, oh yeah, the funding was all cut for those.
He says it real weird, too.
Yeah, super weird. And then...
he also talks about murking fools.
Yeah, and then he talks about, like, I'm just having a tough time. And so Paperboy begins to go through his mom's files for him, and reading, like, she suffers from delusional psychosis and a narcissistic personality disorder. She was found guilty of endangering the welfare of her own child. Or the child she adopted, I guess. Who knows? Because we see adopted papers in that file later. But then he's like, stop, she can't continue. Because Arthur's just being weird, saying some weird shit about how, like, you know, he just had a rough week. You know, just... he did some bad things and all that stuff, and that's what kind of got him all nervous in the beginning.
And Paperboy's perception is like 100.
Yeah,
100.
suggesting that, like, he gets some help, and then with all that, you know, he's like, wait, you said, this is your mom's file you're looking for? And that, like, oh, she suffered from all this, and, like, talks about the abuse of the kid, and it's just like, oh, I can't tell you any more about this, I shouldn't. And Arthur's skinny arms like go through the fucking little hole in the office wall there and just snatches the thing from him.
Bangs his head, really.
Yeah, and then there's a whole slam his head on the thing to help like shove it out rip it out the last second. And then he's running down the hallway like, again, he ain't never ran really much in his whole life.
Weird run.
Very strange. In the stairwell, and he's trying to read through the file. The file says that she was insane.
Also, are we going to talk about how he ran like 15 feet? Like, why don't you just go home and read this? Because
it's gonna be a lot farther down the hall. You know how hospitals are all kinds of crazy. Especially in a big city like that. You probably ran down 15 floors. We don't even know. We're just gonna go ahead and assume that he got a decent like stretch away from anybody that was really...
I think you should have just done this at home. You get out of it, you get the bag, and you get out.
Yeah, it's kind of like get in your car, get home, get on the bus.
Yeah, something. Just get out
of the building.
Yeah, like just zero awareness.
Back then, there weren't no cameras and shit, because it's like the 80s or something, you know.
Still, they're looking for you, probably. They're like, hey, look out for this skinny white dude who stole my shit.
But, yeah, the file says that she was insane. Arthur's mom was insane, that he was adopted, and that she let her boyfriend abuse him, and that she neglected him. And it shows her in a flashback.
Pretty hot.
Pretty nutty looking. Pretty. And she's like, in a flashback, she's saying that it's all made up by Thomas Wayne. But then she said that she never heard him crying. Like, when the doctor was asking her about it in the flashback, like, the abuse to her son, she's like, I never heard him crying. She always thought he was just a happy little boy. He was always happy. So, like, thinking he was laughing when he's actually crying. So, like, this whole thing, his laughing tick is maybe from him, like, actually crying. It just switched into...
yeah.
Well, after... So that's the whole thing right there.
And again, like, I think this
he was always just a happy little boy. So maybe she is nuts, and Thomas Wayne didn't make up all this shit.
Yeah.
So it's back and forth, because, like...
I think...
I feel like there's enough points on each side that either one's possible at this point still.
I still feel like it leans towards her being crazy.
I think it leans...
because, like, there's definitive proof for that.
Overall.
Yeah.
But documents can be forged, especially by the ultra-rich like that. It happens all the time. With that flashback, you see her, no, he made it all up, and then it shows her, oh, I thought he was a happy little boy, always laughing. No, he's always crying.
Yeah.
Fucking, you know.
Chained to a
fucking...
Radiator.
Like, are you serious? What? So, she's
crazy.
Nutty. Yeah, nuts.
Thomas Wayne probably found out.
Or maybe, no, that was real, and he was always this happy little go-lucky boy. And all these stories that Thomas Wayne put out about it ruined her life, and now she's just all discombobulated because...
well, when she
her life's in shambles now.
Entire mind, though. That's like, to make a woman go fully insane.
Well,
like
she thought she was the love interest of super powerful Thomas Wayne,
Or she thought that.
She thought that, and then it all got taken away after she got pregnant.
Or got fired.
So she got pregnant, fired.
Got shacked up a weirdo who, like, tortured her.
If that even happened. Or it's just like, she got fired, and then she got slandered by Thomas Wayne. Her whole character
why would she be like,
destroyed.
he's such a good man?
Yeah, years later now, too.
Yeah.
So...
Again, I think she's fucking nuts. I think Thomas Wayne... I don't think there's a definite... And we haven't seen the second movie. But as far as we're going on what we have now, I don't...
Who's to say this is even going to explain in the second movie? So.
It's a Dumbledore situation where I don't think there is a supposedly correct answer, and if you do have one, go fuck yourself.
And maybe this is what it's all for, just for us to do this right
now. Yeah, it's all about the conversation. But like that's
Which is great. I love it.
Yeah.
This is what we do.
But for me, I'm going to take it... Officially, the Williams stance is that it is not... They are not.
And I think, if I had to stand on one side or the other, I'm with you. It's like, she's nuts.
Yeah.
And he was abused and neglected, and she's made it all up. Maybe they did have some affair, but it wasn't her baby.
Yeah, that could possibly have happened, yeah. We just don't know. Also, I just want to say real quick, Penny was abused like Arthur was, too. Like, she was beaten on by the step.
Oh, yeah, she was, too. Like,
she's also a victim in this.
And I think she had, like, when she's getting interrogated in there, did she have a black eye or something like that? Yeah, so that's... very much so right there, too, what's going on, eventually.
Which, again, adds credence to the actually happening.
Yep. Yeah, she is nuts, and, like, she did have that boyfriend, and, yeah. So.
Her eyes is all fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody had to do that to her.
Or maybe it was the henchman from Wayne Enterprise, and be like, shut your mouth, bitch! Like, who knows? So he heads home, all in the rain and shit. Goes to girlfriend's house, all soaking wet from outside, being outside in the rain. Goes in, touching everything, like, super weird. Like, he's never touched anything in his whole life, and it's like, ooh, the sensations or something. Super creepy. And then he's sitting on the couch, just feeling shit on the table and everything. And all of a sudden, you hear the door, like, latch, and she comes home, or comes out of a different room. But I'm pretty sure... No, because she says the daughter's asleep in the room.
Maybe she just hears it.
So I'm like, maybe she was just down the hall, like, changing out the laundry, at the end of the hall and came back real quick or something. That's what I was thinking. Like, she doesn't seem like the cat. I don't know, she kind of seems, in his mind, she's naive and stupid, but, like, in the real world, she seems kind of on it.
She's probably smarter than she is.
Oh, yeah.
Country mile.
She kind of keeps her cool. She's like, she comes home and is startled and lets him know, like, hey, you're in the wrong apartment, and asks what his name is. It's Arthur, right? And he's like, I need you to leave. My little girl is in the other room right over there. So that's basically letting you know that...
I've had a bad day.
Yeah, alluding to all the other, like, encounters they had were not real up until this point at all.
This is where I hated this. I fucking hate this in movies. I think it's fucking stupid, because it's like a mic drop moment. To be like, shit, you realize this shit did not happen.
Yeah, none of this other shit happened.
But I don't need that shown to me every scene one by one. Like, okay, if you didn't get it, it's okay.
But
the airplane comes all the way around for this.
To help the storytellers make sure.
Oh, it's called the internet, fuckheads, alright? Maybe in 1982 you needed the little scene. But we have the internet.
We're dumber now than we were then.
If you are a smooth-brained fucking idiot and you can't figure that out from that, get fucked, alright? You're ruining it for everybody else.
Well...
It makes me feel like Todd Phillips is like, they're fucking stupid. They aren't going to get this. I'm like, respect your audience. Respect your audience. That is a cinema sin.
I hate when things are spelled out for people like we're all stupid. I can't stand that either.
And that's exactly what it means. It's like, it's cool. It's a really cool, like, oh shit. And
but there's some things like,
look at everything.
It has a certain point to it in some things, but in this movie in particular, I'm like, oh, we didn't need that. I feel like just her saying, what's your name, all that shit, we could all be like, oh fuck, it wasn't him
that's
this whole time.
Yeah, again, it takes like a mic drop moment and it waters it down.
It's insane, so we get the whole big reveal that she's been basically a figment of his imagination, or at least their relationship has been. And so he leaves back home.
Wait, are we going to talk about how, like, he totally killed her? Or some shit went down because the sirens go off in the background?
No, that's something totally else different.
No, that's the same shit. Because why wouldn't she report him?
I didn't understand that either.
Dude, she got
Because I was going to ask about that, like...
No, she's dead, dude.
She did.
She's totally
not the baby dead either. No,
she's dead. Because how would that have gone down where she doesn't call the cops and he goes, he killed her.
That's a question I have. I don't think he killed her.
No. Because the sirens are going. That's totally what that's like.
The sirens are going before he even left the apartment.
No, because like he goes to sit down and then they cross by him because he has the lighting on. So like,
but then that would like allude that
the neighbor calls and then like the car could have been parked down the street.
That basically mean that like the car was going by. So they're showing them in that scene before And after she confronts him and comes home, because then she'd be dead, and that's why you see the lights.
Yeah.
But then you see her alive after the lights, so...
When do you see her alive?
Because she's asking him to leave, and then he just does nothing. He does the whole turn to her, does the whole, like, fake gun thing again.
But I think that's just, like...
And then it ends, and it goes to him going home. So we don't know what happens to her at all. We have no idea. Why didn't he call the police? Maybe he killed her? I don't think he did.
I think he did. Because, like, why didn't she call the cop? Why didn't she not... Like, it's just, how did this go without any... Like, I think she's dead. Because, like, he goes to sit down, the lights pass by.
Or maybe she'd just be like, he's gone. I'm not going to cause any more big issue. I don't want to deal with the cops myself. I'll just learn to lock the doors a lot more often and buy myself a gun, too. Whatever. Maybe she didn't do anything. A lot of people don't call the cops, even though something like that happens. They say, fuck it. Especially in a giant city like that. They're like, hey... Like, we had 2 homeless people get into our apartment down in New Orleans, and we just scared them off ourselves. We didn't call the police over it, you know. So it just could be some... Shit happens like that. Like, it's just like, you're in the wrong apartment, you know, shit happens like that.
But that's a lot different. Yeah, but, like, Arthur isn't... This isn't a happy, like, this is an Andy Griffin going into the wrong house. This is a...
Well, I mean, it's just...
We know about this man who's a serial killer, I think, by definition.
We know, she don't. She just knows he's some weird dude down the hall.
Yeah, but we know... that he's fucked up and crazy. So the idea of him going into the wrong apartment being like, I had a bad day.
Well, maybe that's why, like, it does show him back at home right after this scene of him on the couch, and he's just laughing hysterically to himself in his drawers. Like, hysterically.
In his drawers? Why would he want to be in his drawers?
Because he got blood all over his clothes. But he's all wet. He's all soaking wet, too. So maybe he just had to get out of his wet clothing. It could have been it.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if she dead. We don't know.
I think official Williams stance, she's dead.
Well, now I just kind of like made that point myself too with the whole clothes thing. Damn it!
Yeah, no, you kind of buried it. I wasn't even going there. I was going like did some weird sexual stuff with her dead body, but
oh no, I wasn't going there. I don't think that's what happened. Then he goes to him with his mom at the hospital, right? Like, the next day, I'm guessing. And he's just like talking about Penny Flack. What's it?
Penny Flack. I never really liked that.
Penny Flack. He's like, I don't really like the name. I actually hate that name. And she says, like, and he's talking about something. He's like, I always never liked this and that. She's like, but you're always happy. Or she's just like, happy. Was I happy, though? I've never been happy one fucking minute in my entire life.
Again, I like what you said about earlier about the chain thing, how she might, like, not know. Yeah. Like, if he was crying, I didn't think of that. That's good. But, like, I hate this. Like, I've never been happy a minute. Like, go fuck yourself. You saw a puppy in kindergarten. And you're like, that's cute. Like, go fuck yourself.
It's also her saying that he's happy. That's like narcissistic kind of disorders where she believes that everything's all hunky-dory around her and everything's cool when it's not. Yeah. You know? And I think a form of narcissism. I'm not a psychologist. I don't know. You know, she has it convinced in her head that everything's all hunky-dory and he's happy when he's just miserable as fuck. You know? And she's like, oh, you always been such a happy boy. This and that. You're going to bring laughter and joy to everyone when he's just the most miserable little shit out there. And... Mm-hmm. So, yeah, her delusions are, you know, maybe shining through still to this point. And he says, you know what, though, makes me laugh now and I do find it amusing. And he's like, I thought my life was a tragedy. Now I see that it's a comedy. So anyway, he just starts snuffing her to death and with a pillow.
What a hero. Killing his abused, mentally ill mom.
His abusive, mentally ill mom, you mean?
Hey, she was abused, too.
Yeah, she was abusive.
I'm just saying. Also, which he had high regard for until yesterday. Think about that. He loved this woman. This woman.
I think he's seeing through his, like, Stockholm syndrome or something like that, where she's just lied to him forever, has been nuts. Maybe not intentionally, because she's nuts.
Yeah.
But he's still the victim of her actions, and so he's looking at it as, you know, he wants to set a wrong right, I guess, or get justice for what's happened to him.
I just think, like, killing her, I think, like, she's not the bad guy. I think she did some fucked up shit, but, like... I
mean, she's, again, the bad guy...
She doesn't know any better. She doesn't know any better.
Off her actions that she didn't, like, intend to. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. And it's kind of like the Joker. Actions that he did created this whole movement. The actions she did created the Joker. Oh. I like that. I didn't even write that down. That just came off the brain right there.
But it seems really fucked up to me to like, oh, I love this woman. She's a big part of my stand-up act. I lived with her for 40 years. I'm sure she had to do something nice for me all this time. Oh, I'm just going to smother her. I found this new information out. Like, what if somebody gave you a piece of paper about me? We're best of friends. We're doing a podcast. And then the next day you're like smothering me with a pillow. You're like, oh, like, that's wild. That's a wild thing to happen.
That's a stretch for an analogy there.
Is it though? Like, it's your mother, dude.
It's your mother. No.
Like, if you got a one piece of
paper. It's just getting the whole revelation of everything he's been, in the last few days or weeks, he's been sorting out in his head, and he's also just hit a pinnacle. Eventually, there's that straw that breaks the camel's back, and he just hit it. And now he's going out there to find his answers.
Killing everyone.
He's going to handle business, okay?
Handling business by killing a single mother and killing his own mother.
And now he's free from her and all her...
Oh, he could have always been free if he would have just got his own fucking apartment.
Okay, is she going to afford a place by herself and all that stuff? What?
Oh, so now he cares about his mother? He cares about her well-being and if she can live in her apartment?
Well, it's not that much. He cares is, like, what's she going to do? Like, he's going to just kick her on the street? I guess cares that.
Well, that would have been better. That would have been better than smothering her.
I'd be smothering and go like, if I was at her age and like decrepitness, I'd like, I don't want to just go rot in the fucking alley and just go ahead and stuff me right here in a hospital bed.
Do you hear your argument is insane? Like, just smother me if
I'm old and decrepit like she is and delusional. What, you want to go get put out on the street and die all fucking crazy in
you live at my house, starving? You don't have to...
I'm not saying me, I'm saying her.
I'm trying to put your shoes, I'm trying to put you in.
Looking up from hell or down from heaven, he'd just be like, hell yeah, the alternative would have been a little rougher. I'm like, he just snuffed me. I was fairly happy in a hospital room, and I ended there instead of starving on the street, pissed on by a dog, trash all over me.
Wild. You were justifying a murder of a semi-innocent old woman.
I'm just doing it as a devil's advocate here.
Sure. No, but you stand by this movie, so...
I mean...
You don't have to. There's nobody putting a gun up against your head saying...
I have questions about it later. We can we'll elaborate more on this. When we get to, the end of it, we can, go into what we feel about these different little things here. So, but, as he's snuffing her, these alarms are going off and everything, I'm like, no nurse got alerted to anything, no doctor. Like, oh shit, she's cold in there. Like, people running in. No, he just snuffs the fuck out of her and just walks away. Okay. Alright. So, I guess it's pretty easy to snuff people back out nowadays. I don't know.
I think he just gets astronomically lucky.
You just heard the monitors going, I'm just saying. Well, a lot of these characters in these kind of things do. And so, Mom and Dad goes to him at home in his purple suit, practicing his his introductory, walk in from backstage to the Mari show he's going to be on. He's practicing what he's going to say before he, whips out his gun to shoot himself, because that's what he kind of sees, practicing at home and putting the gun up against his neck after he says those old little lines. And he's copying different mannerisms from other people that entered some show. I don't know if he specifically wanted to act like that one dude or just picking out...
I think he's trying to do the timing right.
Yeah, get timing right. And just kind of different ideas for how to carry himself. Then it goes to him, showing him dyeing his hair green.
But before that, I just want to shit on this movie's use of That's Life. I hate that. I love that song. And it's just I think there is, don't get me wrong, kicking someone down on a dream. I get that. That totally fits.
The song that's playing while he's getting dressed?
But, there's a part where it's I've been a pawn, and again, I love this song. So it's I've been a pawn and I've been a king. And I'm like, when were you a fucking king? When you had a clown job?
He's gonna be a king.
Signs?
Right now, he's a king. God. He's actually living free and doing shit.
Oh, my God. He's not a king shit.
It's getting to his pretty
not even in
shit.
charge of anybody.
Kings go around blasting motherfuckers all the time. Or slicing them, I guess they did. I don't know.
I feel like that's not how I would get a king, man.
So, and so while he's getting dressed and everything, put on his makeup and doing shit, the door buzzes. His old co-workers from the clown gig, Randall and Gary.
Gary?
Randall, the dude that gave him the gun. Gary, it's just the other one that...
Shorter than usual.
Yeah, that guy. And they came to cheer him up because they heard that his mom died. And then
it leads to one of the third unintentional funny moment of this whole fucking movie. Where he's yeah, my mom died. I'm celebrating.
Yeah, he's like, I'm celebrating.
He's in fucking clown makeup.
He's like, oh, we're here to make you feel bad. He's like, yeah, no, I'm celebrating.
It's like a Napoleon Dynamite line.
It's so, yeah, no, it's so flat and just I'm celebrating. And they're all just looking at him like, what the fuck? And then Randall is just like, hey, the cops have been coming around asking about them subway murders, talking to me and a few other people, because, like, I just wanted to make sure our story's straight, because I gave you the gun to kill those motherfuckers, so I just don't want to get back to me, just kind of see what's going on. And while Randall's kind of explaining that out, fucking Arthur, in the beginning of the scene, we see Arthur, like, getting himself ready. He puts the scissors in his pocket once the door goes off. And now we see him pull those scissors out of his pocket and just stabs Randall in the throat a few good times and then smashes his head up against the wall. And Gary's sitting over there just stunned as shit, like, don't know what to do. And Arthur's sitting there after he gets done killing Randall, just sitting there, just, like, breathing, chilling. Looks over at Gary, and he's like, I'm going to be on the Maury show later. It's just like, and Gary's just like, what?
No, he says, what the fuck, Arthur?
Yeah,
and it's like, that's an unintentional funny moment.
Yeah, and he kind of gives a look like, yeah, you know, whatever. He's like, you can go and get out of here, blah, blah, you know, something like that. Yeah, then he does the whole, like jump scare at him, which I loved. That was fucking great. Like, his face paint on him and everything, it just looks like...
Even the blood's, like, halfway
covered. A skinny fucking, crow, like, from the crow. It's just like a skinny fucking, just nutty. So I'll probably jump too. Like, oh, don't do that, motherfucker. Like, and then it just goes over and, like, can't get the door open. Because, like, the fucking bolt, like, and he's like, hey, Arthur, you know, you can help me out? And he's just like, yeah, Gary. He gets up and helps him before he opens the door and shuts it again. He's like, you know, you're the only one that was ever nice to me, Gary. And then he finishes up in the door and lets him out. Dude runs off.
You think you should have had a moment where you're like...
Oh, no, he thanks him. He's like, thank you, Gary, for being the only one nice to me.
And he should have had a moment, though, where he's like, don't fucking tell anyone, Gary. Don't
Gary.
Stop this Murray thing.
Thank you for being cool. Continue to be cool.
Yeah.
At least for the next couple hours while I go kill some motherfuckers.
Yeah, just something.
Yeah, so...
But I got two
things. Yeah, go ahead. Let's go.
I think there's been other people who are nice to him. The counselor.
Was she nice?
I think she was nice. Like, she's like, nobody cares about you. But, like, I think that's nice to tell him that. Like, she could have just... If she really didn't care, she would have said
straight up like, oh no, honey, you're so valuable. And everyone cares about you. Like, nobody does. What are you talking about, bitch?
You know. And then, what do you call it? The lady down the hall, like, she was nice to him.
Was she? She didn't even exist.
No, she existed. She was like the elevator scene.
Yeah, but she did that before she even knew anything about him, and
then she got murdered by him. But,
allegedly. Potentially,
yeah. But I'm just saying, like, she was nice. It's not like she was mean. And
I would have been standoffish if that dude was going, like, I just gave him a look like, really, motherfucker? No, I don't know.
So then you have that, and then...
Oh, so those are real nice things people did for him. Okay, continue.
The mom, up until...
lying to him, fucking up with his head, neglecting him as a child.
I'm not saying she was...
Having him take after her forever.
It took a document for her... Like, he liked... She was a huge part...
Well, the truth came out. So now, like...
I think there's a...
Maybe he would not have acted like that at all throughout his life, and maybe he got his shit on track a long time ago, like, fuck you, mama, and everything you did to me if you just left.
I'm just saying, though, I think the mom isn't a total evil person.
I don't like mama.
Okay, alright.
Okay, I'm glad she got snuffed out.
And then Murray Franklin inviting him on the show. That's kind of a nice thing to do.
Only to make fun of him?
That's a part of the show. We're going to talk about Murray Franklin.
Yeah, we're getting here. That's like the climax.
I got one more thing before we leave the apartment. I should have said this earlier, but I think it is important. When he's dyeing his hair, I love your smile. There's that photo of the mom, and you turn it back, and it says Thomas Wayne.
Oh, I missed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I was wondering if that was a clue, because like, if that's his mama, I love her smile, and Thomas Wayne said that, then again alludes to Thomas Wayne potentially being his daddy.
Now, I got two arguments. One, circumstantial. Because it's not a, like, I love your ass. You know.
It's subtle enough, but
it's still
poignant enough to have some
could be
personal picture that says... It
could have been like a Wayne company party. Everybody has a photo.
Boo! What, he's going to say to everyone?
Yeah.
Even like Deborah from fucking, sales?
Yeah.
Deborah, your shoes were just extra sparkly at.
Dude, corporations do that bullshit all the time. like all the execs and like people, like his other assistants.
No, I think in this case we're safe to...
I think...
We're safe to assume...
I think no. I don't think you are, because I think that's what the movie
wants you to do. Or safe to believe, then.
I think the movie wants you to believe.
Yeah, it's just like a whole...
Again, I don't think there's a right
answer. It keeps adding 1 point to one side or the other. It's she's delusional, he's lying. Thomas Wayne's lying, Penny's delusional. It just keeps adding a point to each side, and we're just gonna, we don't know what's really gonna happen. I'm pretty sure they're gonna keep it even throughout the whole thing. It's not gonna... One's not gonna outweigh the other. It's still gonna have to be we don't know. Is it Bruce's brother or what? Is Arthur Bruce's brother or... Is Arthur Bruce's brother or what?
Yeah. But yeah, I think you can throw it away. It's not
I'm gonna hang on to that one. I ain't throwing nothing away yet. I'm gonna figure that out. So, cuts to him, all cleaned up, in pure Joker attire, with the badass music playing, while he's on some stairs, dancing and shit. And he's doing quite the little dance on some stairs. And I feel like this is some kind of iconic stair set from some other movie or something. Is it?
I don't know.
I just feel like I've seen it off something before. It seems familiar. I feel like it's going to be off something we should have been oh, dude, we should have known, but
Also a weird song choice because this guy's a known pedophile.
Is he?
Yeah, Gary Glitter.
Had no idea.
Yeah, very odd choice.
I take away the badass song then.
Yeah.
It's a shit song.
It's one thing for a guy to listen to this on his way to work or at the gym, but for a movie, a multi-million-dollar project to put...
Did we know that when the movie came out?
This is...
Oh, it was well known?
Yeah,
terrible. Why would they pick that?
Yeah, I know.
I know they say, hey, the artist, not the art, but you don't have to... Because the dude's going to have a credit on there and probably get some residuals or something. So you don't want to be supporting it.
Yeah, no, that's bad.
Okay.
That's bad. Kind of takes us out of the moment.
Yeah.
That's what it did for me.
My rating of the whole entire movie just went down a few notches.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, noted. Fucked, but noted. Okay, noted under fucked.
Yeah.
That's FUBAR right there. That's a whole FUBAR right there. Shit. What were we even talking about now? Oh, yeah, so that stupid song he was dancing to down the stairs. And so, anyway, the detectives find him and interrupt the whole thing. They're at the top of the stairs. He's halfway down, so he runs off. Them thick cops, ain't catching up with his skinny ass too good. But then he gets hit by that fucking car. And I'm sorry, his little brittle skinny ass would have been just splintered and pulped by that one little hit. That thing should have shattered his whole little body. But
I don't know what to do with this information.
This is where, again, he's a super villain. And superheroes and super villains, they just can't be broken or die. I'm just saying. So, it's the beginning of his amazing superness.
Yeah, sure, superness. I don't know what to do with this information, but he almost got hit by a taxi in the beginning of this movie, and then he finally does get hit by the taxi. I don't know what that means. I just noticed that.
They're just finishing the deal, I guess.
Yeah, it was preluding. I don't know.
Maybe. I missed that in the beginning. So he gets hit by the car, somehow gets up and keeps on going, and gets onto a train full of fucking people who are all dressed up as clowns to go to that whole protest that they're doing, against the elites and shit, all dressed like the clown that's supposed to be against, the rich and all that stuff. So he gets on a whole train car where there's a bunch of them fuckers, and they're all in masks and shit. He's ducking through and dipping. The detectives are kind of pursuing him, but then he snatches a mask off a rando, and the detectives keep pursuing, but then in the commotion, the detectives end up shooting some random civilian instead of Arthur. The train stops, the people take him out onto the, what is that called? Station floor, and begin to beat the fuck out of the cops, just for shooting some random guy, and they're all against the establishment now. All these people are going to protest against the establishment, and the rich and all that stuff, so this cop, shoots some guy, and they're gonna get payback right now. Gonna handle it, and Arthur ends up getting away.
Are we gonna talk about how the mask was really pointless for Arthur to wear since he's wearing this
Well, they could see detectives. They're pretty keen on picking up details and shit. They know he was not wearing a mask. They probably got to get a look at him without the mask and just face paint on. Other people had face paint on too, but he had the certain suit and everything.
Yeah, I spot you from a mile away.
Well, I guess but the suit and everything you spot away. But the mask helped, and other people's suits were kind of similar-ish, but not much. And it kind of helped a little bit, more or less. It helped. Then the guy getting shot, which is terrible. But then, that guy gets shot and the cops getting beat. He's all dancing and laughing
Also, he kind
of... some innocent dude just got shot just for you to get away.
That's the part you have a moral quandary with?
I don't have a moral quandary with. I'm just wondering if everyone else realizes it's kind of morally whatever. I mean, you want to make an omelet, you got to break some eggs, okay? I'm sorry.
But I'm shocked that that's the one thing you're like.
I'm not put off about it. Like, things had to happen for him to get away, or else he would not become a Joker.
He also starts the fight where because he steals that dude's mask, and then the guy turns around and punches that other guy, and it kind of causes.
Yeah, so
a few times,
and that's what it is. And that commotion bumps into the cops, and the cops shoot one of those guys.
Yeah, but that's kind of like one of the few times where I'm like, he's actually.
So the mask did help grabbing it. It didn't help with the mask on his face, but it did help that he grabbed the mask from that guy.
And it causes escalation.
Yeah, it's fucking domino effect, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Because he had a plan way back when he first...
This shit ain't chess.
When he first left that woman's office in the beginning of the movie.
This shit ain't...
As soon as he got fired, he thought of this right now.
Damn, I butchered it. You gotta do it. You do.
I can't even do it now because I feel like I'm...
No, you got it. This shit ain't
checkers. This shit is chess.
I love that. That's
okay. So it goes to him. Oh, and that whole scene though, I really love it because I really felt like it felt tense. Like while they were pursuing him through the train cars, it was very clustered, very claustrophobic-y feeling
very
almost. And yeah, just the way they shot it, kind of back and forth to the pursuing and the music of it and everything. I just really enjoyed the whole atmospheric cinematic effect of that entire scene. I thought it was really... I wish I had more descriptive words and knowledge of how it's all set up to describe it better, but for me as a layman watching it, it was stunning, you know.
And then we get that epic shot of him walking out of the subway, like in that hallway. He's like smoking a cigarette, and all the cops
super smooth, cool. Yeah, and they're all running down. They don't even know it's him because there's dozens of other ones, if not hundreds of other people dressed like him. So it's just, brilliant. And just, it's like semi-slow-mo, but not, it was just fucking beautiful.
Again, I as much as I dog on this movie.
Yeah, visually
stunning.
Yeah.
Stunning.
Yeah, masterful.
All right, this is our time to play Murray.
Yeah,
Murray,
so here we
Murray.
go. Now we see him backstage at the Murray show. He's getting all maked up, cleaned up and shit because he, running away from the cops and everything. He got a little sloppy and shit there. And Murray comes back with some producer, I'm guessing, or something. And they're all hesitant to let him on for a whole segment because he's in the clown outfit. And the city's tense because somebody just got killed in the clown outfit, which he was part of, but they didn't know that. And so they're hesitant, because it's all very tense with that clown character right now. But they tell him, we'll go with it. And
no, but who tells him that?
What? The producer.
Murray. Because the producer's like, fuck this guy. We can't have this guy. This guy's crazy. And Murray's like, you know what? I like this guy.
Yeah, Murray does. He wants it. So he kind of pretty much signed his own death warrant.
And then he's like, he wishes him good luck.
Keep it clean. Keep it clean. VCR, basically, keep it PC, keep it clean. And
wet somewhere his face paint.
Let's keep the face paint.
And
he's like, no, I like it. It's cool, yeah.
And it's gonna work. And he's like, don't worry. If you the other guy's like, call me, he's like, Murray. And he's like, the other guy's like, call him Mr. Franklin or whatever. And he's like, shut up.
Yeah, that was in the beginning. Like, oh, Murray. He's like, Mr. Franklin, we don't need to deal with formalities right now. Fuck that,
And then he's like, can you call me Joker? And he's like, call me Joker. And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll call you Joker. So Murray does 5 nice things for this guy.
So Arthur asked to be introduced as Joker because that's what Murray called him on the TV skit that he saw on TV. He was like, this guy's such a joker or something like that. So he's like, will you call me my Joker? And he's like, yeah, sure.
He seems like a nice guy. He seems like a nice guy.
He's just trying to make sure, but he's like, yeah, I can work with that. I feel like he's more calculated on, all right, strange, but sure, whatever, I can work with that.
I think he's just being a nice guy. I think it's like a behind the stage, in front of the stage kind of a thing.
I think overall, it's probably just being yeah, man, I'm about to make funny and roast you, so I can hook you up with these few little things. He probably is, in a sense, being as nice of a guy as he can be and somebody that kind of status and just doing that kind of bit on somebody, a guest host.
Yeah, and I'm sure Tosh Porano's going to bust your balls, but he's probably a really nice guy.
Yeah, maybe so after this scene, if, it didn't, what happens, maybe they would have, shared a donut and had a little more conversation or something like that.
Yeah, so it's just I think Murray's not a bad dude. I think Murray's just trying to do the best he can.
Yeah, overall, I think he's, he just is doing his bit and just did the wrong one,
I think Arthur should have been lucky. He should have been counting a star. Thank God Murray's on my side.
Yeah, because he could have shut down all that. We're gonna do a different segment. Get this dude in the clown. Get this clown out of here.
The assistant's
this could have easily been shut down. The assistant would have been security, get this motherfucker out of here. And it could have been over like that. Yeah. But also, we wouldn't have this amazing scene coming up. So, now he's got the whole completed Joker persona, though, now. He started off kind of slowly going in. He's got purple suit, the green hair, the face paint, and now the name Joker. His whole thing, I feel like this is where it's finally him, the Joker, is here and fleshed out, blood on his hands, real deal. This is the beginning of the Joker. And sirens again!
On our end.
On our end, just the last 2 days, this whole city has been, burning down or something, because all day, every day. Anyway, his whole character, I feel like, is now fulfilled. He is a Joker, and again, he's backstage, kind of getting ready for the show in the dressing room, and they show him kind of reciting something, and then putting the gun up to his face like he's getting ready for that joke, and then that's how he's going to end the show, is that not going to kill himself, sort of thing. But we see that's not what happened. And it goes to him getting brought up backstage. Murray shows the clip again for the crowd on the other side of the screen. What?
And we get that epic shot during that exact clip of, him sitting there smoking a cigarette and his face is all blue. And it's, a really cool shot.
Oh, no, he's backstage when, Murray's playing that thing. Yeah. That's before he goes out, and he's smoking a cigarette and then he does the whole gun to his...
Well, yeah, but this other thing is, he's right behind the curtain when that clip is showing. And he's, sitting there and he's smoking. It's, really cool.
Oh, he was smoking. He was sitting there dancing, remember?
No, that's, the scene right before. I'm talking about right before the weird... I have that written down.
Oh!
But there's, that scene where he's, and it's just, the blue is, and you hear the Murray shot or whatever. It's really cool.
I'm going to have to watch it again because I missed it.
It's a really cool shot. It's a really...
So what I had is that he goes... he's right up stage, and Murray starts the clip of him out again. But while the clip's going, he starts doing a weird dance behind the curtain backstage. And then after the clip goes, it introduces. He hears blah blah blah. So here's the Joker, and
but you forgot unintentional moment, funny moment, 5 or 6 or whatever we're at now.
I think it's 4, maybe 5.
Anyhow, there's 2 workers.
They're sitting there looking at
what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah, smoking. Who let this guy back here? Yeah, no.
He's doing his weird.
Yeah, super dance, just all sensualized, just creepy.
Yeah, I'd be we need to tell Murray, man. We need.
Yeah, so Murray finishes the little intro, and then he just basically flows from that dance into the another dance while he's walking out on the stage. And goes up to the other, guest and, kisses her all super hard, some older lady.
Weird.
And she's all sitting there stunned with her arms out, stays there. And he's just all just doing whatever, looking around, waving at everybody and shit.
You know what's funny? That might be the only woman he ever kissed in this, as far as we know. Yeah. Real lady Rizzler there, you know what I mean?
What is a lady Rizzler?
Rizzler is just charisma, so it's somebody who gets a lot of...
Is this one of those new terms from you, Children?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Not for me.
I thought you just made up some random word all of a sudden.
No, people call people Rizzlers.
It's an actual fucking crazy term.
Yeah.
Oh, I like how we just talked about that earlier. Okay.
I see I stream, so the Gen Alpha fucks talk to me, and then I hear about you, so it's a three-way system.
Yeah, what am I? Gen...
I think you're old millennial, as far as I know.
Yeah, I'm a millennial.
And I'm on the cusp, on the very last.
You're Gen X or something. Well, you're generation behind me. 8 years of generation. You're Z then. You got it. Right?
The generation thing's bullshit.
No, because it's 96 is when it ends when you are born. So, I don't know. Anyway.
No, it's bullshit, though, because, the generational thing, there's no limit, it's not an actual thing.
I mean, it's just, it's like a social thing, not like a actual...
Honestly, the only way you could really have it is if you did definitive years, 1980 to 2000. That's millennials. Then 2000 to 2020 is Gen Z, and that's just how.
Well, they do have there's some website thing.
But if you go to 3 different,
pretty much agreed upon.
Here's my challenge to the viewer: you find 10 websites, reputable-ish as much as you can for generational knowledge. That's a weird sentence, but you find 10 websites.
Quite impressed with it.
You find 10 websites that have the same exact fucking year count for every generation. And I'll shut up. I'll shut up about my generational rant.
I'm still stunned about that sentence you just rattled off, because, I thought you fucked it up, but no, you nailed it.
Yeah. I was I didn't even know.
I think you hesitated to think, did I hit that word right? I'm like, you did? Anyway.
But you can find me 10 websites would have same year span for every fucking generation. I'll shut up about it. I'll be generations are cool now. I don't think you will.
Let's see if we get something. We will definitely keep you posted on that. So he's on stage. They're chatting for a little bit. And Arthur goes to tell a joke, and he pulls out his book of jokes, and Murray's all heckling him, like, oh, he brought a whole book. You know,
no, that shit's great. No, that shit, I wrote something.
I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying that's what he was doing. So,
we got all night. And when he's sitting there.
Yeah, like, hey, we got all night. Yeah, just like heckling him.
You had to look that one up when it's a knock-knock joke?
Yeah, so he starts it off, he chooses a knock-knock joke. He's like, yeah, look that one up. But he tells like some bad joke about calling the police, saying their kid has been run over by, or the police are calling some parents and saying that their kid's been run over by a car or something like that.
And then the band guy plays like a sad little horn.
Yeah, wah, wah. Like, the joke falls flat. And then he's like apologizing and saying like, sorry, it's been a rough few, like everybody's like, that's not a funny joke. And Murray's like, that's not funny. Oh, the crowd's all booing and stuff. And he's like, I'm sorry, Murray, it's been a rough couple weeks, you know, since I killed those 3 Wall Street guys on the subway. Murray's just like, what? Did you say? He was like, yeah. He's like, you really mean that you said? I'm like, yeah, I did it. And it kind of continues into Arthur just confessing about those killings and a few other things on the show.
I do think there's like a really interesting like censorship argument in here from like Arthur being like one of my favorite lines, one I hear a lot, and I've heard it just in the wild. Like, I'm tired of pretending it's not. It's very quotable. It's kind of a really cool censorship argument you can make out of this, where it's like, because it's like, with me, I gotta deal with the YouTube algorithm for like my YouTube shorts, and if I make like, or TikTok specifically, I make a joke that's too edgy, like fucking dead bear holes, then TikTok's like, we can't show this to people because it's inappropriate. So, like, as a guy who has to deal with censorship on comedy, I feel like this is, like, there is, like, a little bit of a string here of being, like, you know, I deal with this. Like, what you think is funny is not funny. That's why he says the whole,
well, it's like, comedy is subjective.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And so...
who gets to decide what's funny and
what's funny and what's not? Because, like, some dark, horrible jokes, like, sometimes it's not too soon on some jokes that would be sometimes seen too soon, but it's like who's saying it and how they're saying it really makes it. And sometimes you can break tension and ice and change people's whole modes by just laying some dark food bar situation out in some just like ridiculous light, and everybody's just laughing about how fucked they are. It's like, we're all like, you know, it does have a place, and some people can be appalled by it, some people can be relieved by it, you know?
Yeah, I think comedy should be just one of the places where, you know, don't get me wrong, there's some joke, like, it just depends on...
Yeah.
Depends on
there's a whole lot of factors.
Yeah, like there's some jokes where I'm like, it's just not funny. Like I think stuff is just like
bad taste, like it's bad taste.
Yeah. So it's just like there is a little room for that, but I do think I totally get it as a guy who wants to make a joke about fucking dead bear hole.
We listen to we both like Dan Cummins. He does a lot of like pretty savage cool jokes, but it's fucking funny because he does it in the right light and he knows what he's doing. You know.
And again, like anybody with half a brain cell is going to be like, oh, he doesn't actually mean that. Like, it's just humor.
You know, it's just, you know, how do you lighten up as a comedian, you know, talking about murder and shit? Sometimes you just gotta make it. It's terrible that we laugh at it. People were, you know, it's gonna harmed, but it's just like, damn, you know.
The way I look at stuff like that is it's the only good thing you're gonna get out of a bad thing is making jokes about it. You know, right? The only good thing you're gonna get out of 9/11 is the infinite amount of 9/11 jokes we've gotten out of.
True, or like, you know, tragedy, you can learn a lot from it, but it's also, this is how you, move on from tragedy, just accepting, you know, just what it is and making a joke out of it. Like, I can laugh at slavery jokes and stuff like that, too. It's just fucking, you know, it's tragic, but some of these jokes are fucking funny.
Like, it's also been 100 years.
Yeah, like, or, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in culture, but it's still like, you know, you listen to comedians now, they make fun of all different races and classes and shit. It's just fucking funny, you know?
Yeah. Chill out, guys.
Yeah, as long as, like, nobody's safe, then that's good. If we start sitting here blocking off for these people and that people, then, you know.
There's going to be no one left to make jokes.
Yeah, now we can't have any fun. So it's just got to, as long as everybody gets picked on, everybody's, you know, it's all free game.
Free tip from me, if you want to be a streamer, make fun of yourself. Nobody's ever going to get offended.
Yeah, and I make fun of myself before I make fun of anybody, because I'm what? Anyway.
And then he has that fun line, they couldn't carry a tune. Why he killed him.
Oh, yeah, so... He's like, oh, I just killed him. Like, he couldn't carry a tune. There was something like that in there. And Murray is thinking, like, so, did you do this to start a movement? And he's just like, nah, I killed them because they were awful. And Murray says, like, what happened to those boys is bad. And the Joker said, you know, if it was him that got shot, and people just walk over his body. But since they were, you know, these Wall Street fucking kids and shit working for Thomas Wayne, that, like, they are something important.
See, I listened to this line, like, twice. Because I didn't take it. At first, I took it like that. But then I thought about it. And he's like, walk past me every day. And I'm like, you didn't die, though, dude. That's the way I took it.
He did like if he was the one shot, then people walk over him. Like people walk past me every day and ignore me and don't give a fuck or care about anything. Don't care about like anything in my little like shit life, but these rich kids that all of a sudden their lives are important.
I don't know if you get murdered though, you're gonna be on the news.
Now, sometimes homeless people shit aren't mentioned.
No, people know this dude.
Who? His mama?
Gary, dude. Gary's gonna back
Gary?
Gary will be out there like, motherfucker, that's my homie, man. He got killed. That's bullshit.
I saw him kill somebody else, but, yeah.
Shit was crazy.
His guy's crazy.
But, I still think that's kind of some bullshit. That's kind of like, nobody cares about me.
But he was just still making the point, like, he said, where he's like, not everyone's awful. Because he's like, those guys were awful. And he's like, not everyone's awful.
See, like, he's even playing devil's advocate, which is nicer than he had to be. And he's like, yeah, it's true. Not everyone's awful.
But then he's like, you're off. Or the Joker says, like, you're awful, Murray.
Oh, my. And I don't think he is.
And he's like, all you did was invite me on here to make fun of me.
If you don't see the career boon this is to your fucking attempt at comedy, you're a fucking idiot.
And then Murray's sitting there trying to, like, explain his shit out, like, talk sense to him, and he's like, want one more joke, Murray? And Murray's like, no, I think we've had enough. So I put this quote in there because I just love how it goes. It's like, so Arthur starts off like, how about another joke, Murray? He's like, no, I think we've had enough of your jokes. What do you get? Murray goes, I don't think so. And Arthur comes back, when you cross, and Murray tries to interrupt again and says, I think we're done here now, thank you. A mentally ill loner with a society that abandons him and treats him like trash. And Murray's like, call the police, Gene, call the police. And he's like, I'll tell you what you get. You get what you fucking deserve. And then he blasts his ass, like, blows his head off. It was pretty great. Whew. Intense and shit. Like, he's trying to interrupt, like, that back and forth while they're kind of talking over to each other. And Arthur's voice comes out at the end and shines over, like, you get what you fucking deserve. Whew, that shit was intense and I loved it. I don't know if really Murray deserved it.
Yeah, like Murray.
Like that? You might get like a slap across the face, like, hey, fuck you for making fun of me.
Is Murray really the bad? I think, honestly, shooting Thomas Wayne, I know it's hard to do that with the whole
if Thomas Wayne did cover up being the daddy, yeah, but
it makes more sense for him to shoot Thomas Wayne than Murray. Murray was just kind of this fun little side.
Or his mama. His mama was the one that caused the most trauma.
Well, if he was going to do a big spectacle, though. If that was the whole point, Thomas Wayne's the one who called them all clowns.
I'm like, you could have blasted Thomas Wayne in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't.
But, wait, I got one more thing here about this whole... Also, what is his voice during this whole... Murray...
It's his own little Joker theatrical voice.
Get out of here, Murray.
I love his voice when he's just like... he's like, you're awful, Murray. I was like, oh shit, he got all deep and fucking, like, sinister. I like that part when his voice
that doesn't do anything for me when he's like, Murray.
I loved it. I loved the whole scene when he's talking about everything. After he gets done blasting Murray, he fucking, gets up and, like, dances on stage and dances over to the camera and he starts to say something, but the camera cuts it off finally.
Yeah. But another thing about that whole scene is, like, nobody thinks what it thinks like to be the other guy. And I'm like, did you think about what it was like to be the other guy when you killed all three of those dudes? Remember that chick down the hallway? And your mom? Did you think about what it was like to be the other guy?
What other guy?
Yeah, he says
dying?
that. No, he just says that in general. Like, nobody ever thinks what it's like to be the other guy anymore. Like, people are so terrible.
Oh, the one that, like, they're being shitty to. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, but, like, he's killed 5 people at this point.
I mean, yeah, but...
I don't know. For this guy to be sitting on his moral high chair after murdering 5 people is rich. Rich.
I mean...
everybody
did they have it coming? I think they had it coming. We're going to get into that discussion. I have it set up for, like, later. We're going to discuss out the morality of all his actions.
And then you get what you fucking deserve. You talked about that. Great line. I used it in some of my TikToks. It's good shit.
So... they cut him off after he dances up to the camera, starts saying something else, but they cut him off. Then it shows him being taken in the back of a cop, or he's in the back of a cop car riding down the street. As they're passing by, the whole city's rioting.
Great song choice.
What was the song?
I forgot, but it's really cool. It's like one of those like epic. It's like from, I know it's from.
I feel like I know it flowed well. The music and the musical score and the score they had, and also like the music choice for different songs throughout the period, different periods of when this is supposed to be taking place in the 80s or something like that. That shows everything well.
Todd Phillips, so like he did that well with The Hangover and in War Dogs. Like his music choice is like.
Yeah, this is like one of the Oscars that they won was about musical like shit, but it was that German dude who.
Yeah, well, I was sure for the original score stuff, but I just like his pop culture.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, he's great with that.
And so he's in the back of the cop car. And he's like laughing at shit. He's like, "This ain't like the cop in the front. Like, this is not funny." One more, he's just
and I'm like, "You're wasting your breath, bro. You're not going to convince him of anything."
And he's just looking at everything going by, and all of a sudden, this ambulance come out of nowhere and rams the cop car with the Joker in it, and. Everybody's all stopped. I guess the cop up front's knocked out. I mean, the Joker's knocked out. Then you see getting out of the ambulance is a bunch of Jokers, people in Joker seats. They see it's him. They pull him out and like lay him on the hood of the car. And then it goes to Thomas Wayne and his wife and Bruce heading out of that theater, avoiding the chaos that's going on all around them and everything, trying to dip you into a back alley. But then a Joker's following them down that alley. And it shows him, like, shoot Wayne. Is like, you get what you deserve. And shoots Wayne and then snatch Bruce's mama's pearls, like in the OG movie. And the pearls fly everywhere, just like in the OG movie, 89.
We need to talk about
this. And it's the same thing as Rogue One.
We need to shut up. Shut the fuck up.
But, no, it's the same thing as Rogue One. Pulling into, like, the Vader, sitting there killing everybody before they get off, like, that ship. They get the info on R2-D2 and they get it off. Like, but Vader, you see what happens on the other side of the door. Now you see what happens behind the whole thing. That's why they got killed. Love it. Love it.
I just want to say, if I see the Waynes get shot on screen one more fucking time, I'm done.
Well, you need to know that. It's like Batman, one of the big aspects of why Batman becomes Batman.
Batman 89, Batman Begins, Batman vs. Superman, Joker.
Because that's what happens, fool.
The Batman. The Batman was 3 hours long, and they still somehow shoved this fucking scene. We know. We get it, guys. We get it.
It's gotta be for every new generation, everybody who may not have seen it yet.
I don't give a shit. They know, dude. These fucking Gen Alpha fucks, they're on their tablets all the. They know, dude. That's like
they know more than we do, and they're only like 4 years old.
Yeah, they meme. They know about fucking.
They meme, man.
Yeah, and they know about the fucking.
They're mean memers.
And honestly, if they haven't seen the Dark Knight trilogy, then they don't have any rights anyway. Send them to the gulag. But if,
I think it did a great job.
Fuck, I don't want to see the Waynes fucking again. I swear to God.
Well, that's your own opinion, and mine is actual fact. It's not an opinion. It's That's what I mean. Okay, yeah, but no, my opinion, I just like it. It reminded me of Rogue One. It perfectly spliced it into the whole storyline flow of it. Loved it. It was great. I like it.
I do say this, that
it brings so much more depth to the whole what's going on. And also, then you get the whole backstory.
It destroys your Batman, your psycho theory about Batman 89 in this movie being because the Joker kills Batman's parents in Batman 89 because he hasn't fallen in the bat yet. There's no way these two Jokers could be the same.
So anyway, we're going to keep on going. Shut up, Paul.
But I'm going to say this real quick.
I was hoping you were going to bring that up because I was literally avoiding that this whole time. Because I was well aware of it. That's what I said.
Then why did you die on this hill? Why did you bring this hill up?
I was hoping you wouldn't bring it up, and I was like, yeah. But
there's no way.
It's okay. It still works for me. It's okay.
Anyhow, but there's one more. One more thing about this. I do appreciate how it's not the Joker killing Batman's parents, because I always think that's kind of like, that kind of kills the purpose of Batman. Because like when your parents die from just like random criminal mischief or just some random
he wants to just take care of all crime.
Yeah,
not just like focus on the one nemesis.
Yeah, so if he takes down the Joker, that kind of really kills his vibe. True. That's like when our mom died of heart disease. It's like, well, I can't get revenge on that.
Yeah.
I just got to take care of myself. Like, it's kind of a bummer. Yeah. You don't get revenge, you know what I mean? It's just kind of a letdown. Just all across the board.
There's nothing like,
so it's like I
become a doctor, but like that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of
money and work.
I don't want to do it.
Love you, mama, but damn.
Like I would love to put on a cape and go fight heart disease, but it's just not. It doesn't work like that.
It just doesn't work. Pow, kabam.
Have you eaten a lot of red meat today? Yeah. But that's the way to do it. Don't have one of the villains kill the Joker or Batman's parents. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You're going to reboot Batman again.
Oh, they will. We'll probably see another 10 more versions before we're dead.
Oh, wait. Also, no reaction from Porcelain Bruce during this whole scene. Of when his parents get killed.
What, when you're a child and your family get murked in front of you, I'm sure there's a little something, a hard pill to swallow.
I'm just saying, no reaction.
I mean, a real big really dry, abrasive ass pill that he's got to swallow right there. So he's just sitting there trying to gulp.
Every scene with this kid in it has no emotion. He just sits there in the same blank face.
I don't know.
Also, I was so over this movie at this point that I didn't even start a new page for it. I just started writing on it.
And then, so, it shows the Joker regaining consciousness and stands up on the hood of that car he was on, and he's being praised and celebrated by the mob. And then he's sitting there doing little bows and spins, and then he takes the blood from his mouth up in his teeth and shit, and it smears all over his face to make a bigger smile, and the whole crowd roars some more. And just the way they filmed it, and like that ambiance of it again, just the way it all felt, the lighting and everything, the crowd. I mean, I thought it was badass and super evil, and I loved it, and it gave me goosebumps. I'll just admit that. I loved it. I love that. Now the Joker's really, really, really the Joker.
Yeah, really.
Love it.
Feel a lot.
Nothing out of you? Okay.
That's how I'm like,
Because
cool.
it was so beautiful, you were stunned too. You don't even know.
Yeah, no, I'm a loss for words. I just have never seen something so poignant and
so
beautiful.
Amazing and just dark and morbid, and the culmination of all kinds of just insanity that this music's produced.
Yeah, it's like Beethoven's music turned into a movie. Like I've just never seen something so beautiful.
You're just a hater.
I'm literally the demographic for this movie. I have a Dark Knight statue at my house is 3 foot tall. I'm the guy.
No, you're the poster boy for fucking Batman, not the Joker. You're Mr. Goody Two Shoes.
I'm just saying, I like the Joker, man. I like Heath Ledger. I like old Joker and the old Batman, Dark Knight Returns.
You can't remember his name.
What the fuck? I just said it right there.
You said the Joker from the Dark Knight Rises. You didn't say his name.
Dark Knight Returns. Oh, what? Joker? It's Heath Ledger. What the fuck you want?
Oh, the other one. I
don't know. Old Joker. He's an older Joker. Senile Joker.
Damn, what's his name?
What? That's not Mark Hamill. I'm pretty sure it's not.
No!
Heath Ledger?
No, the
Jared Leto?
89 one.
Oh, Jack Nicholson.
Jackie Nichols. Alright.
Oh, we should do a ranking of the Jokers. I don't know if we do that on this one or...
Maybe we'll do another Joker or do something else.
We have to do it when we do all this.
So, then it snaps to him, talking to the social worker, the same one as before, but he's in prison.
No, it's a different one.
Is it a different one?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's the same lady.
That's racist.
I'm not being racist.
You're the one who said they both look alike. They're not the same woman. They are not. That woman is 20 years younger.
I want to go find her. I want to go look at this. I was typing up the notes. I'm like, oh, it's the lady from before.
No, that is 100% not that.
I didn't really look, but I'm about to go through and check. If I'm wrong, then my bad. I'm not being racist. I'm just being confused.
You should have double-checked your facts on that one, Chief.
Well, that's why I have you, I guess. You don't have to call me a racist, asshole. Shit.
He's half black.
Yeah, I'm like, I can fucking see you better than you can, motherfucking honky. Anyway, he's talking to a social worker in prison, and he's just laughing, and she asks, like, what's so funny? And he's like, oh, I'm just thinking of a joke. And he laughs some more. Then he cuts to Bruce in the alley with his dead parents just staring, deadpan face, stunned, like you said, no emotion. It's basically, it shows him that, and then she's like, you want to tell me what the joke is? And he's like, you wouldn't get it. But basically, I think that's showing, like, all these things that he did to set this emotion to create this huge rivalry that's going to come around later on, and maybe he doesn't really know that, unless he's super genius and does, and he's laughing about all the things that are to come that the social worker lady has no idea about, and that's, like, what he's laughing about. It's just like, you wouldn't get the joke. What do you think it means? So
I wrote a joke of the writing. What's so cinematic? I don't get it. You want me to watch the film? Get it, like the movie itself, like, what's so cinematic? I'm asking what's so cinematic about this movie, and he's, Arthur's like, I don't think you would get it, and I'm like, whoa, you want me to watch it?
I don't get it.
Yeah, see? I'm just saying, like, I watched the whole movie, and I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
What do you mean, what do you get? I don't get what the fuck, that joke thing?
Yeah, the joke wasn't good. The joke, I should have put that one through a couple more processes,
I mean, I'm gonna leave that in there just so they all know.
Hey, you gotta leave in some of your shit in here, too, man.
I'll leave it in, don't worry.
But, yeah, I don't. The whole, it just, It's a weird way to take it. Of all this bullshit, like, everything was just leading up to getting the Waynes killed. Why didn't he just do it himself?
I don't think that's what he didn't do it for. It's just, again, he made a few actions that set everything else in motion. But he didn't do anything with his intent, like, start this whole beef with Bruce Wayne, other than, like, his family ties, potentially, which may not be either. But then he ends up killing Bruce's parents, and that's why this whole rivalry starts, and that's why it's funny.
It's like indirectly, though. It's not really him doing it.
Exactly what I've been trying to tell you. Finally, you get it, this whole movie.
Oh, my God.
I've been saying it from the beginning. I can't wait to go back over it and listen to it. Like, I told you from the beginning.
Like it just seems like it's a Reuben Goldberg. It's like he Mr. Beaned his way to killing Bruce's parents.
I don't think that was his intent at all. It wasn't his intent, but that's what Batman's gonna think, and that's what Batman's all, like, out for, like, fighting crimes and also getting the Joker and shit. It's just a whole thing. That's why it's so fucking funny to him, and she wouldn't get it. I don't think you get it.
I think that's a big jump. I don't
get it. I think that's a slight step across the puddle.
I don't think it is. I think this guy's an idiot.
No, I think he's just doing his thing. Yeah, and lucked out. That's totally what it is. I'm not saying he was a genius mastermind. I'm just thinking everything just turned out for him to create this character and create his nemesis. That's why it's so funny.
I don't even think he's gonna be the like hypothetically. I don't think this universe is gonna go on or whatever. But even if that, like, I don't think he's the actual Joker.
Why would he not be?
Because he's like 1,000 years old already.
He just looks that way because he's lived rough and skinny and decrepit and all fucked up. A lot of pills, too, will do that to you. Ages sooner. He's probably like 35.
Yeah, but he's still...
And even that, maybe
he got his ass kicked, like, all the time throughout this whole thing.
That'll age your ass, the stress and everything. You dance around like a damn clown. Like...
The guy hasn't been eating right. Like, he ain't gonna do... Like, Bruce Wayne training in
having no social life.
In the foothills of China.
That'll decrepit your ass real quick. You gotta get out and see some sunshine and, like...
The League of Shadows. Like, he's gonna be a fucking brick shithouse compared to this fucking Arthur Fleck.
Well, yeah! Batman had all his technology. It was all in shape. And the Joker from '89 still, like, was a villain to contend with.
Yeah, but no, I'm not talking...
He had that giant hand cannon and everything.
Dude, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Arthur fucking Fleck, alright? We're talking about this Joker.
Yeah.
You think he's the actor?
Well, we don't know what Bruce is going to turn into in this universe. He could either turn into, like, the skinny...
Be another little fucking skinny dweeb like Arthur?
No, he could be a skinny Batman like the one from the Dark Knight trilogy. Or he could be a beefy one like Ben Affleck.
That's
you don't
bullshit.
know.
That's some
Ben Affleck's my Batman. What? I said it. Fight me.
This fucking bullshit. Skinny. Get out of here.
He is skinny. He's
Adam
like a little guy.
Adam West is way skinnier than fucking... Don't bring Christian Bale with this.
Bullshit.
Christian Bale's a fucking beefcake by the end of that.
He's a little man, I'm pretty sure. He's like 5'4".
He's not 5'4".
Okay, I'm kidding. He's like 5'6".
Dude, he was busting out sit-ups at the end of Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah. Camera angles can do a whole lot to make you seem like you're big and jacked.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Okay, so...
He would kick Michael Keaton's ass.
Let's finish this off right now. Hang on. So, he says he wouldn't get it to the lady therapist in the prison room, and it goes to him walking down the hall and is leaving a trail of bloody footprints indicating that he killed the therapist lady, and now it ends the movie.
Thank God.
Ah, that was so nice. It was quite nice. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it when it ended. And I could do whatever I could want in freedom.
I don't know. I thought it did a good portrayal of the Joker becoming this broken individual that's out to just wreak havoc, either intentionally or unintentionally, just doing his thing and just wrecking shit. Now that he's found himself, he's got this confidence, and now he's going to go off and maybe use this fame and power that he's got from it to become this iconic Joker that we'll know, going forward.
I think that's just insane to me. Like, this guy sucks. He's not the Joker. He's not a good Joker either. Like, he isn't the guy. He just
what do you mean? That laugh is super on point. his makeup, his everything he does. He's so quirky and everything.
Dude, this guy sucks. Like,
he's not as ambitious like the Heath Ledger, but like that's Heath Ledger's like 10 years from now. That's the Joker. Hey, we're getting like 5 years later is the Heath Ledger Joker from today's Joker, or the one we're talking about now.
The Heath Ledger Joker does things for a reason, though. He
eventually Arthur's gonna find a reason for shit.
But you're like scapegoating all of his meaning and actually doing something for a semi-purpose later on. That's bullshit.
No, we're setting up to why he is the Joker, how he became that. Maybe the second movie he starts setting up to be in what, a criminal mastermind or, a criminal syndicate like Lord sort of thing. But right now we're just setting up the man himself, who the Joker is. We got his whole persona out, his outfit, his hair color. Like, why was his hair color green? Probably because that's what the color that his wig was wearing when he killed the first people. Stuff like that.
I don't know, man. I feel like, I said this once on stream, when you have a broken VCR, sometimes you can't fix a broken VCR when it comes to people. I don't think Arthur Fleck really gets too much smarter than where he's at.
I don't know if that analogy hits, but I'll roll with it. So, I already know what you think overall. You didn't like it. You're glad it's over.
Yeah. Not a huge fan. I think it's like a broken clock. It has a couple good lines in there. I think that, I think it's trying to say something, but, I think it just kind of fumbles on the execution.
I think it did well in the execution. What did he fumble on? What was fumbled
his
on?
moral high chair of, everybody's rude, everybody's terrible when he's out there gunning people down.
It showed him getting beat down and kicked around by everybody, constantly.
Yeah, but, he's just such a whiner. It's self-pity. It's I'm on Murray's side. I think it's a lot of self-pity, and I think... he
was always out trying to be happy-go-lucky, charismatic guy, but then he get picked on because he has an issue.
Not everybody, though. He throws everyone under the bus. Everybody.
So, I was going to be like, do you think what he did was wrong? Everything he did?
I think if you went step by step, it would be different. Most of the time, I think he is in the wrong. The only time I really, vibed with anything illegal he really did was, when he stole the documents from Paperboy, because it's we've all been at the DMV. Yeah. It's I need that one piece of paper and, give us $15. So it's I kind of vibe with him there. But, pretty much everything else, I'm
So he wasn't justified in his actions for,
I think, self-defense...
killing those people and all that stuff.
I think self-defense was, that's fair. I don't know if you should have offed him. Maybe killed, that one dude, and then, you didn't have to chase that other guy down, though. That's murder. Those other two dudes, yeah, you could justify that.
I think he did.
The wife, the chick down the hall or whatever, that's fucked up. I think he did it. I'm going on record that. We don't know.
And the only reason why I think he might have done it is because how he killed that lady at the very end in that.
Yeah, what did she do?
One room. So maybe he did kill the neighbor lady all quick. I
think he did.
Maybe he went home and he's in his naked because his clothes weren't just wet with rain; they were also wet with blood.
Yeah. And the siren, the police, I think that's just totally some visual stuff.
Maybe. But it seemed like they passed by and he was just phased out about it. Because I remember seeing...
Well, he's high on the kill, man. He's yeah, I just killed a woman.
So, is he a villain or a victim?
He's a villain. People have shit happen to them all the time and they just don't go around slaughtering people. Even mentally ill people. That's not a justification.
That's true. Sure. I was just a little questions I had for you. Just want to see his... I think he was a victim until he became a villain in other people's eyes, but in his eyes, he's a hero. In the eyes of many other people around there, he's a hero.
Whoa, really?
And that's why people, getting kind of bent out of shape over this movie is because it makes them almost side with the actions that Arthur made that were violent and bad, and it makes people side, and think it's okay and justified when it's justifying murder and stuff like that, so it's fucked up. So it make people feel some kind of way.
The problem with that argument is just the villain, a good villain is somebody you should be able to see eye to eye. They could have been.
And they did. I feel and it's he killed those dudes in the subway. I saw that. Cool. His mama fucked him up. Is it good? You could have just left her there to rot, but him snuffing her. I see why he did it. I guess in his own little head, but it's not overall the right thing to do. And then killing Murray. I don't know Murray really had much to do with it.
Yeah. Murray was really... Murray...
I mean, he's there to, just pick out and make fun, but I don't think he was there to, really just trash talk him down to nothing,
And again, that's, the biggest fucking boom to that dude's career ever. ever. That by far.
Yeah, like, if anything, it would have put him on the map.
Yeah.
And, like, he could have been like, yeah, I'm that guy from the road show. You know,
Yeah.
He could have plugged himself in, like, I'll be there at the comedy show next week. You want to come see my horrible show?
It could have been a whole thing.
Yeah, I could just play on, like, how bad I am as a comedian.
And then eventually he could have become a good comedian.
Yeah.
Because he would work out through all the bad shit. But no, he's like, I'm going to fucking gun murder
That's true. There could have been a positive spin on all this.
Yeah.
But this wouldn't make the darkness of all, like, you know, Gotham and Batman series.
See, my thing, like, my two big things with this is, like, when it's a superhero movie, I can appreciate it for trying to do something different. You know, supervillain, you know what I mean? In that genre of comic book. I can appreciate something doing something different. You know, my favorite trilogy is the Dark Knight trilogy. It's, like, way different than the Marvel stuff, and it was completely different than anything what was out at the time. You know what I mean? Like, Batman Begins was 2005. That shit's crazy, dude. That was 3 years before Iron Man. So, like, I appreciate stuff doing something different.
That long ago?
Yeah. And you watch that movie, it feels modern. Like, it still holds up. It's great. It's timeless. But, you know, so I can appreciate them doing something different. And for that, like, I respect this movie. But then when you take it to, like, a mental health movie, I think it does really paint people with mental health as, you know, look at, if we don't help these people, they're going to go off and become violent.
Yeah, and that was also part of the big controversy is how, like, it portrayed the mental health, like, you know, mental illness and different things like that.
Yeah, and it's like mental health, like, and people are like, well, it's raising so much awareness and made $1 billion for a mental health movie. And I'm like, yeah, but it painted it in a shit light. Like, it's like it's the biggest, probably, you know, worldwide mental health is still really kind of shit on.
Yeah.
Especially internationally, and we're not doing the greatest here in the United States. We just got the emergency number.
Yeah.
So for this thing to go out and make $1 billion in the paint mental health, because it's like once you step out of like the Batman thing and you really want to tackle a bigger issue, I feel like you really got to
doing like the commentary, like
make sure it's really lined up. And again, like you can do it, and Dark Knight does it. Like it does like the Patriot Act about spying on people. And it does it in such a way where Batman has to tackle that issue, but it's not jumping out in your face and saying it, and it does it in just kind of a sly way. Like, it's totally talking about the Patriot Act, but it's not actually...
Oh, for the Batman.
Yeah, you gotta have that line and degree of separation or you lose the sauce. You're gonna lose half your audience.
Yeah.
So, for me, like, that definitely hurts it, and then I just don't buy his argument. Like, I don't see his side of things at all. Because he's not doing it for a purpose. He's not doing it to shake this. He's just doing it to do it.
He's almost like reacting instead of like, he's not making calculated actions. He's just reacting to certain situations, but now, you know, it just ended up with some people dead.
Yeah.
And I think the only one he like fully killed out of like vengeful malice was Randall. I'm pretty sure as soon as Randall, he saw him through the people, he's like, oh yeah, I'm killing this dude.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't get it. Like with like Heath Ledger's Joker, I understood what he was doing. He's like, fuck the system, I'm gonna fuck it up. And he does it for everything he does is purposeful. Everything he does has a reason.
It's a whole plan.
Yeah, and like I see his point of view, and you can even, you know, there's that famous Reddit post about the guy who argues that Heath Ledger Joker was the good guy in The Dark Knight because he took down all the gangs and left them penniless, and you know, took down Harvey Dent, who was like fucked up. Yeah, and it's just like that's cool. That's really cool, and you could see how he is the good guy. Like he does way more than Batman does. Like there's that whole argument, but. Arthur Fleck, I'm like, you didn't do this for any of that. You just did this.
He just stomped on and walked on, and he just stood up for himself once, and people died, and I don't know, maybe that's just him, though, for his character. But
then you have that big logic jump, and we talked about that with the Subway, where I don't really get how he comes out being the hero when there wasn't more to the way, like it should have.
Yeah, they should have.
So, I don't get why you're doing it.
Either that lady saw it and, like, she reported, you know, she was about to get mugged, or, like, maybe something there.
So, like, I don't buy the movement. I don't get, like, he doesn't really do anything for really any purpose. He just does things like a raccoon walking around.
I'm just saying this is pre him getting all mastermindy.
But I feel like that's a scapegoat answer. I'm judging on what's there. I'm judging the plate, what's in front of me, not the theoretical.
To make rational, like,
you're trying to defend it.
Conclusions of what, like, I see, like, how you know.
I'm just saying from the plate in front of me. Yeah. The cheeseburger, I see what's a little burnt. I'm like, I see what they were going for. Yeah. I'm just not buying it. I'm out. Like, if it's Shark Tank, I'm out. I don't.
Great recipe, terrible execution sort of thing for you.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's great recipe and satisfactory execution. I feel that he was just physically, emotionally, just kind of like scarred and constantly beat on in those aspects, and he just finally snapped. The straw that broke the camel's back, and he went off on a murdering spree and just became the Joker, and he's trying to like liberate himself and be more, like you said, actually exist instead of just being tossed to the side. And
but everybody wants to exist. Like when we're doing this podcast, we're doing Twitch streams and stuff. But we didn't have to murder people to exist. We didn't have to.
Fortunately, not yet.
Not yet. But you know what I mean, though. Yeah, like that's such a fucked up way to look at it. And again, I just don't buy that.
I'll do anything that needs to be done for this podcast, William.
Yeah, we will murder the dudes. I won't say that.
No,
we'll be the only movie
we're
podcast.
We're going to handle this.
We start a gangland war over a movie podcast. But yeah, so I don't buy anything he's doing because he's not doing it for any reason. He's a raccoon reacting to shit. So like I don't buy into. So I'm like I don't like if he was doing it for this huge awesome thing, I'm like, oh yeah, cool, awesome. Like maybe I could get down with it, but it's not. It's just I just don't. It's just okay, cool.
I understand. That's for yep. I mean,
I like everybody else. Like, and this is where I was gonna get to the point where it's like Apocalypse. What is it? Is it Apocalypse Now? So Apocalypse Now. That movie, the general fucks off, jerking off out in the woods or whatever. And, like, everybody in this movie is like, he's so smart. He's such a wise guy.
General.
Is this like the general that goes rogue in that movie?
Yeah.
And everybody's, like, sucking this dude off. Like, he's some amazing guy. And then, like, we meet him and he doesn't really do anything. And this movie, I feel like, suffers from the same problem where everybody's... But it's outside the movie, where all the fans and everybody's like, wow, Joker's really...
They don't really know. Yeah, he just happenstantly got, these situations happen, a figure got put behind it,
Yeah, and that's just my big beef with it. And and he's just such a weird. I don't even consider him like this. I know he's the symbol, but I feel like that's kind of tainting what the symbol means to me in Batman. But like, he's like the logo. He's been co-opted into this movement, which he has no love for, what he did not cause at all.
Well, he does have love for it. He has appreciation after. Like, he just sees, like, my actions just kind of really did this, and he just finds it, I think, beautiful and moving. Like, he exists. What he does is now significant, even though he didn't mean to.
But that's just...
It's kind of like everything he ever wanted, but, like...
Imagine if George Washington got on the quarter without doing anything. It's like, oh, now I appreciate America.
Well, maybe he did, while everybody else did everything. We don't know.
George Washington. He's kind of a G thug.
He is. I've read some of his
He put down
stuff.
the Whiskey Rebellion as president. Like, he wrote up on that shit on the whole, like, knock it off, you fucks. Like, I put down the British, I'll put you guys down.
Yeah, he has a few, as in Dan's words, hip hip yah moments. Like,
yeah, he's fucking thug.
Yeah, he's a rude Teton.
But, yeah, so it's just like, but Arthur, imagine, like, Arthur being on the quarter. It's like, what did he do? Well, he shot it, like, not even the king of Britain, but a TV host of Britain. I'm like, what? Like, what? What do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it had much. It's
weird for him to be the face.
It has impact, and it was like big and moving, because it was him doing that in front of everybody. But just like him as Murray as a target, like that just
it seems weird.
Didn't serve anybody. It didn't serve his cause by any means. I don't think.
And Murray's a nice guy.
He seemed okay. No, you kind of pointed out. I'm like, yeah, he's not so bad.
Honestly, I think it would have made more sense if, like, Murray would have been...
Like, what the fuck, you're in clown shit, get the fuck off my, show.
Like, because, like, his little buddy, his assistant or whatever, the showrunner, producer guy, he was like, get this fucking guy out of here. So it was like Murray sticking up for him. So, like, again, this guy is, like, he's so rude to everybody. You're rude to Murray. Like, you killed the man. That's as rude as you can. That's beyond rude,
And he was, just being, like, kind of a voice of the people, like, this isn't right, dude, this isn't good. Like, I mean... He wasn't saying anything wrong. It's like the opinion of the other, side of the masses. So, yeah. I guess R.I.P. Murray.
I think Murray's I like Murray a lot. I like his portrayal. I think he's just kind of a nice older dude making fun of shit on the news. He's just a talk show host. I don't know. It's like, don't get me wrong, I don't care for like Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon. Like I'm not a bit, but I don't want to shoot them. I don't think they're the leaders of the elites are like, not, I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I'm a Conan guy. I love Conan.
Conan's great.
But, like, it's just weird. It's just a weird, and again, this is like the trebuchet. This is like the big climactic moment. And don't get me wrong, it has that shock. I feel like when I first saw this in the theaters, I didn't see it.
It should have flowed into somehow he killed Thomas outside in the alley.
I think it makes way more sense.
It should have like somehow got to the Joker killing Thomas in the alley.
I think it would have been.
I mean, that would have been then my perfect play into the old movies, thing, just like Rogue One did. So
honestly, it should have done what Batman '89 did, where the Joker directly kills.
Yeah, and that's what they should have done. It should have gone to him like somehow. Once he got crashed by the ambulance,
he like runs out.
He goes off like. Maybe get heralded by the crowd, and then he goes off to, like, meet up with Bruce in the alleyway, and then kills him there. And then that could have been, more of a tie-in to the 89 or other versions and shit like that.
And then also, another thing they could have done is, like, Murray's, like, seeing him on Murray's is, like, enough for him to somehow get invited to another show of, like, if he didn't shoot Murray.
Yeah.
And, like, it was just weird enough and just the right... Like, if he played it off just right, where he somehow got to another event where he got to shoot
but then
Thomas Wayne in front of everybody else, though. Like, if they would just changed the origin story a little bit.
They could have done that, but I don't really want to see it, like, Joker in the alley killing...
Or maybe he causes them to go to the alley. Like, maybe something happens and... just a little more of him.
Just a little more of a tie-in.
Yeah.
That's more cohesive and... I guess, it's more linear sense or... So, anyway. How do you feel?
I enjoyed the podcast way more than I did this movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed the podcast more, obviously. I love talking about it with you because, like, we're pretty sure we watched it before, or might have.
I think we watched it once. I think
we had some discussion about it, but, like, we just didn't go. We went in depth probably back then, too. It was a while ago. I just found a couple fun facts. I'm not sure how accurate these are. These are from IMDb, but they're all highly voted on. So I just thought they were kind of interesting.
It's your guys' fault.
It was interesting that Joaquin Phoenix thought the toughest part of playing the Joker was perfecting the laugh. And he had studied a bunch of people suffering from pathological laughter. And I think he nailed it.
Yeah, you did great. Good job.
That was cool. And this was the first DC R-rated film to make $1 billion worldwide. Yeah. And we already went over the 52 pounds that Joaquin lost for the part. Insanity. That's pretty much all I have for the fun facts. So.
Movie made over $1 billion on like a $60 million budget.
Huge.
Which is ridiculous, yeah.
Huge. And they didn't have like a huge fucking cast going on or anything like that, so, Robert De Niro probably got paid the most.
Yeah.
Even though Joaquin was a star, but Robert De Niro still got paid more. Have you seen Taxi Driver, you said?
No.
Yeah, you gotta see that some.
I feel like after we watch Taxi Driver and...
I think it's going to have a lot more sense to it. We should...
I think this movie's going to take a huge hit. I think you'll realize it's just kind of a Frankenstein of a movie.
I think maybe that's what we do for our Patreon thing. Do like a recap thing where we since we watched this movie that'll lose this one, we're going to recap like this little part and write up a little something quick. Not something quick, like just not a huge full show like this, but just kind of bring our points in from our notes. And,
because if you remember in that old Batman movie we watched, the old animated Batman.
Yeah.
And, like, he kills the spoiler for that. Dark Knight Returns. If you haven't watched it.
I'm going to have to get refreshed on all that.
It's a great movie. But, like, the talk show host gets killed in that. So it's like, if you take that from that Batman movie, and then we take Taxi Driver, and then we fuse it together, I don't know. It just feels a little Frankenstein-y. Again, I haven't seen Taxi Driver. I already have problems with this movie beyond Taxi Driver.
I'll have to see it again. It's been a while.
If we watch all of that together, though, we might be like, oh, shit. It's really just... It's not like a total cinema sin, I guess, that, obviously people see other... Like, I see other videos, and I'm like, oh, that's a cool edit style.
Yeah.
But, like, I think my problem with this is just, like, how highly it's praised when it does take... I think some liberties from other things.
Well, yeah, but what is the original idea? Like, of course, everything's inspired by something.
Yeah. But again, for it to be like, whoa, this has never been seen, this has never been done.
Put some new flesh on it with, characters that we already know and love, but we're just seeing the backstory. So I can see how it could take off. What's your favorite scene?
You get what you fucking deserve, man. I think it's a fun line. It's a meaningful one.
Yeah, that's when he guns down the Wall Street dicks. I kind of like that one. Because he finally, becomes himself or sticks up for himself and defends himself and just does something for him. And then when he blasts Murray, that was just insanely just hardcore scene.
For funny Gary Dorsey, Gary's trying to.
Yeah, that was terrible. It was funny. Favorite side character performance?
This was. Oh man, this was hard. This is harder, I think, than the most valuable actor. What do you think? What do you say?
I said for favorite side characters or performance, the musical score was just.
No, but like side actor.
Or performance, I'm going with. I don't know. Because the side actor was like, I don't fucking know.
Dude, you gotta, come on, give me a side actor. We give it the Paperboy? I feel like that's a lot to give the Paperboy.
Yeah, that's a lot to give to him, but he just did so well for such little that he did.
Yeah, I really like Paperboy.
If not him, then like, Gary.
Gary's really funny.
He's very scared.
Yeah, Gary, I like everything Gary does. Yeah. Gary's in it more? I don't know, Gary has a lot more moments.
Than Paperboy.
Yeah, I think we give it to Gary.
Let's give it to Gary.
Gary gets most valuable side actor.
Most valuable side actor. MVSA. Favorite quotes?
Get what you fucking deserve. It's getting crazier out there.
Yeah.
There's another good Joker one in there somewhere. I forgot.
Mine's Arthur Fleck. That you see written in the Notebook. The worst part of having a mental illness is people expect you to behave as if you don't.
And that's one? Yeah.
And then Arthur, again, he's like, for my whole life, I didn't know if I even really existed, but I do, and people are starting to notice. And I like that. So, what do you give it for a rating?
Well, the most valuable actor.
Oh, most valuable actor.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, the work he put into it, all that stuff, losing the weight, just a masterful performance all around, I think.
Yeah, I can't, I think he's probably, other than the visuals, I think he's probably the best part of this movie.
Oh, yeah, he sells it all. The laugh that he got down there, it made me just cringe. It just... he made you feel some type of way throughout his performance that you wanted to feel for the actor. His pain kind of resonates with you. And then also, he just portrays, his, like you say, he's kind of childish, oh, what was me sort of stuff, too. He pulls it all off very seamlessly together, and I think he creates just a masterful performance, for sure. So, yeah, by far, top-tier class, Joaquin Phoenix, bravo. Okay, now, your ratings.
I give it a 60.
You give it a 60?
I think it's okay. I'm going off the IGN scale.
So, I'll start off with the 88, but what's that big point that...
Pedophile song.
Oh, that song? Yep, terrible. That just knocked it off 6 points, so I'm going down to 80. No, we'll go a whole 8 points, so 80 with that. And then, we made some other point. Oh, him killing Murray, and I'm like, So give it a 78. So I can take 2 more points off. 78, I'll give it. IMDb gave it 8.4 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 69%.
Not too far off.
Yeah, we're pretty much in the ballpark, kind of around them. Yeah, so overall, I think Joaquin's performance was masterful. And we got a story of how the Joker came to be. And for me, it was a very satisfying mesh. Origin story to a slightly new twist on it. I was happy.
I think the visuals...
The visuals stunning. Just, yeah. Top tier. The music, top tier.
Yeah. I think there's some great lines in there for sure.
Oh, there's great one-liners. Yeah, I could have done a lot more quotes, but just watch the movie.
Yeah.
It's good.
And I just think it's all wrapped. It's the burrito it's wrapped in. I think maybe the ingredients are there. I don't think it's...
That's the tortilla it's wrapped in?
Yeah, the tortilla, yeah. The tortilla it's wrapped in isn't that good. There's an anatomy of a human. There's an anatomy of a great movie for me. Yeah. It's just not there.
It's not hitting the full
thing
to make a living being for you or something.
Yeah, and I kind of talked about some of that stuff. I really wish the Wall Street guys would have been more aggressive with that woman.
That was
I think that really would have.
I like that point you made. I think I very much agree with
because if it isn't for that, and then again, taking him, the fact that he doesn't want to start a movement.
It didn't have any thing to do with it, but it was just happening.
It just kind of happened. That kind of takes it because it's
credit.
Yeah, it's just again, I kind of wish he was a part of it, or at least he would have adopted it more, kind of a thing. Yeah. Just anything with that. Thomas Wayne, in my opinion, does way more to, if you haven't made it, you're a clown.
Yeah, that was pretty harsh and
that does more for the movement.
Face of the rest of the people too and everything.
Yeah, yeah. So it's to me, that does way more for the movement than anything Arthur ever did. And Arthur's not
and again, he's a victim of circumstance. He didn't mean for all this. He's just doing it, and now he is that. And I think he takes on that persona he was given, basically. It's like nobody wants to be the hero or the bad guy. Sometimes they just end up being that.
And I just, but like,
and everyone's villain is they're their own good guy. They always think they're the good guy.
See, that's where it falls apart for me. Where I'm like, I don't get what you're doing. I don't buy it. Like Thanos is like, I want to wipe out half the population so everybody can eat. I'm like, okay,
I'm hungry.
yeah, no, I get that. Like I see people starving. Okay, I'll bite. But this is like, I'm gonna kill a bunch of random dudes because they're rude to me. I'm like,
well, he's not going out searching for any dudes to kill. It just happened.
But with that argument,
besides Murray,
but with that argument of like, you got to see him like again, a good villain is I'm like, I don't see it. I don't see it at all. I don't buy what you do. You're more of you're closer to Bin Laden than you are to Thanos, and it's gonna be a no for me. It's gonna be a no for me, dog. American Idol.
Well, shit. I think that's a wrap. For Joker.
Our lowest rated movie.
2019. Lowest rated movie so far. One we both don't quite agree on, but we found that we agree on a couple things, you know.
Yeah.
Or like I'm siding with you, I guess, a little more than your side on my side, but I feel you, dog. I get you. So, what do you think for next week?
Signs?
Yeah, you said that earlier. I'm digging it. I like Signs. Let's do it. I mean, wait, are we going to be able to find this? I'll be able to.
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah, all right, let's do it. Signs next week. Woohoo! All right, so thank you everyone for listening to our review of the 2019's Joker. I hope you all enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week when we review Signs.
And support us on Patreon. To vote for the next movie someday.
Yes, we'll have a Patreon up soon if we don't have it up already. When we haven't got any of this ready by this recording, but here in the next few weeks we'll start working out all that when we get ready for our release here soon.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys again, and see you later.
Auf Wiedersehen.
I'm pretty sure it's the same lady.
That's racist.
I'm not being racist.